Back. Sorry about that. We're having all the little hiccups here at Soldiers Point. We might even try and change internet providers as we go. Soldiers Point Bowling Club, but okay, viewers, how about that? Now, what we might do is, because we've had so many interruptions because the internet crashed, we've had all dramas, we've had to supply, get the club's Wi-Fi, so we thank the club for helping us out. So what we might do now is, work experience kid Declan, could you, actually, no, I'll ask Mark Shepherd. Mark Shepherd, would you be able to do me a favour? Would you be able to go up and get the correct score off the skippers and how many ends they've played? What do you want to say? The correct score and how many ends they've played. So viewers, we do apologise, but we'll get the score up to date in a minute. They're on about the 4 for 15. Actually, probably wouldn't even be that many. We've just had a few hiccups with the good old internet, and the club is packed full of people, and I mean packed to the rafters. So, Declan, good job. You handled it. He was on the other end talking to Happy, trying to get everything organised, but we switched internet and now we should be okay. We'll just get an update of the score for you.
So the interesting thing that's developed here in this game between East Maitland and Beresfield is that the pairs and the triples are completely different results at this stage. So in the pairs, it looked like Barrows jumped out to a very strong lead, and on the other side of the ledger, in the triples, East Maitland have jumped out to a similar lead. We'll get you accurate scores in a second.
How many ends is that over there, can we tell?
So only four ends in the triples, and it looks at this stage like East Maitland's leading 7-1.
And it'll be 4 ends in that as well.
8 blot to Barrow. While we've been dealing with these technical difficulties, we've been watching this game on the closest rink here, the pairs, and it's no accident they're leading 8-0. Girvan and Ellercamp have been playing some very solid bowls. Shortly also we'll bring you a progress score in the game between Soldiers Point and Nelson Bay, Aquarium Wars, Battle of the Big Fish, whatever you want to call it, Dolphins v Marlins.
Okay, we've got it right. So we're 8-0. Very good work, that man. Very, very good work. So we do believe that we have an updated score. We believe the Magpies, who have had a late change, Matt Norris was supposed to be the skipper, but David Girvan is now skipping that team for the Magpies. And they do have an 8-0 lead over the Griffins after 4 ends. So, viewers, the best part about that is you've still got 6 ends to go. We do apologise. Massive Wi-Fi issues here. We tried everything. We pulled things apart. We moved things around. We've got a fairly decent setup here, but we are back, and we're back with a plume here at the Cove, home of the Dolphins. Battle of the Big Fish, the Dolphins versus the Marlins, and the Love Thy Neighbour war between the East Maitland Griffins and the Beresfield Magpies, and that's the game we're bringing you at the moment. The pairs match. The Beresfield Magpies 8-0 after 4 up over the Griffins. Mark Maitland.
We're focusing on this pairs match, but the beauty of this format is it's a sides event, so the 8 blot lead that Barrow enjoys in the pairs currently is actually cancelled by the result in the triples game, so it'll be interesting to watch. It's not just about this one rink.
And we've got that right. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark Shepherd. We've got that right. So we'll just quickly go through that. The team, the Griffins in the pairs, they are using the, I think they're red and blue or dark red and blue bowl and a pink bowl. And the boys from Barrow are using I think it's a green and gold bowl from Dave Girvan, or a black and gold bowl. It's a dark, well, there you go. You can see it in his hand there, viewers. It's a...
Name your own colours.
What colour? I think that's green and gold. Would we say that? Dave Girvan down on his forehand, the left-hander, and his playing partner, Anthony Ellercamp, is using the black and white bowls. So we're after a bit of a disaster start with no signal, no Wi-Fi. Team leader, work experience kid Declan sorted it all out, fixed it all for us, spoke to the happy bowler on the other end who's gone to work, but we didn't want to have to ring him, but it just, when it rains it pours here at YouTube Live Sports, but we're going okay now. So at the moment it looks like, how many was that? How many was it? 3. So that's another 3 to Beresfield, and that's going to take it up to an 11-0 lead against the Griffins after 5. 11-0, viewers. So welcome to everybody who's watching all around the world. We've got 395 views at the moment. We do apologise for everything getting off to a slow start. We've got the most magnificent setup here at Soldiers Point Bowling Club that you can imagine. But just a little bit of learning and a few little issues with the Wi-Fi, and now we are back, that man.
I remember saying the other week at Raymond Terrace what a beautiful night it was, and that precipitated a complete downfall. But it is a beautiful night here in Soldiers Point. Beautiful night to be watching bowls or trying to win a meat tray, as many thousands of people are doing behind us. They
are, and they've been really good. We asked them could they just turn the volume down when they called the numbers out. So I've got a message here that said, is that the one and only Mark Gauntlet's dulcet tones on the microphone? Daniel Hill, you are correct. That is him. The man is back. If we look at Anthony Ellercamp from the Beresfield Magpies on the mat.
Daniel Hill, hello, my friend. I was thinking on the way up about various players that I might see on the green tonight. Tragically, you're not here, Daniel Hill. And I remembered that the first time I met Daniel, when I was actually helping him with his HSC English in the bistro of the Mayfair West Bowling Club. He came over from...
Westside Bistro.
Eden Birmingham Gardens as a very young man, trying to make his way in bowls.
Good shot, Gelfield.
Yes, and it was obviously my help with his HSC English that has got him over the line.
I think it was your help, that man. Okay, so as we can see, looks like the boys from East Maitland, who had find themselves in an 11-5 deficit at the moment, are holding a shot. And let's see if they can capitalise on it. Joel Field, this is the gentleman here, the new recruit for the Griffins.
It looks to be 2. That bowl's finished jack high.
He's finished jack high.
Last time we spoke, Uncle Tony, it was a singles game involving Lee Schreiner and Andrew Rees.
It was.
One of those players jumped out to a considerable lead, and we talked about the importance of hanging in there. There's a long way to go in this game.
And it was very important because that stage, that fours game was really close, and we knew that Maitland won both the first 2 rubbers.
Yeah. And, if East Maitland can stay in touch here in these pairs, it could make a huge difference.
Agreed. So we go back to the game now. So 11-0 after 5, halfway through our match here, our first game. And David Girvan looks like he's probably gone close to drawing second shot, so it's maybe still 1 or 2 to the Griffins. They need to score on this end.
Well, and to drive home the point why it's important for them to score is they are leading... The Griffins are leading 9-1 next door in the triples after 5 ends. So that You know, they don't, and in the pairs here, they don't want to let this get away from them.
And you're exactly right. And Hayden Bojkowski's just drawn another one, so it's 2, maybe 3. Looks like.
Hey, watch this distinctive Girvan delivery. He steps off the mat, moves forward. Same every time.
Yeah, just like the Aero Bowl, same line every time. And I think that's what he may be using. So he's down on his backhand, the left-hander, David Girvan from the Magpies, probably just hanging out a tad. Finds himself, could be 3 down now. Any touch here from Hayden Bojkowski is going to make 4 and puts the Griffins back in the match. And they certainly need to be back in the match at this stage. So good work there by work experience kid Declan. How's he looking, that man?
Oh, just slipped through there. What are you calling him?
Work experience.
Jared Gorsuch, isn't it?
That's Hayden Bojkowski.
Oh, sorry.
That's Bodgy, Hayden Bojkowski. Jared Gorsuch is in the Beresfield shirt.
The very man.
Over in the middle green. See that man, he's been out of the game 10 years. He's starting to get a bit confused with silly season. David Girvan on the mat, ladies and gentlemen.
10 years and advancing years. It's not helping me at this point.
So David Girvan down, playing his backhand. So probably finds himself, I reckon he's definitely 2 down. Anthony Ellercamp looks interested.
Ellercamp likes it.
Looks interested.
Oh, he hasn't got the hole as well, has he?
No, he's got a touch.
But he's only one down. It's an excellent shot.
Excellent shot. So it'll make it 11-1 after 6. But as Mark did say, what they need to do is to keep the game honest. Because their triples is up 9-1. So it's going to even itself out. Now, viewers, if you're not sure how it all works. Now, we think we've got sound now. Everyone seems that we've got sound now. That's good. If you want to know how it works, each rubber, and there's 4 rubbers a night, so they'll play pairs and triples, then they'll play singles and 4s. Each rubber is worth 2 points. Then, after the completion of all the games, the winner overall gets a bonus 4 points. So you can win 12-0, 8-2, 10-2, 8-4. 2 rubbers each, it'll come down to margins. So we have a look at the moment. Hayden Bojkowski has probably just finished a tad wide. So it's 1 to the Griffins. They're on the board. And that'll now, after 6 ends, will be 11-1 to the Griffins. Joel Field will have control of the mat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all you people in the social media world should know who this guy is. He is the Ray Martin of bowls. He plays the greatest bowls on social media. Joel Field loves his social media, loves his bowls, and he's getting his opportunity on the TV rink. And by George, by Jingos, is he excited about it? And let's see if he can plonk one on it for us. Joel Field, ladies and gentlemen.
No pressure, Joel.
No pressure whatsoever. I've just put the mocker on you, my friend, but he would love it. So, 11-1, the Magpies lead over the Griffins after 6 ends. In our other game over there, it looks like Nelson Bay is 9-1 up in the pairs, maybe 10-1 now, and 4-3 up in the triple. So Nelson Bay have an advantage over the Dolphins. The Marlins, battle of the big fish. The Marlins over the Dolphins here at Soldiers Point Bowling Club.
So both of the lead bowls here on this pairs rink finished roughly jack high, but both a little narrow.
So Joel Field actually holding shot. Our viewing numbers are starting to climb now. Thank you, viewers. We thank you for your patience. And thank you for the comments. There's a fair few of them coming in. Even phone reception doesn't go that good at the point. Thank you, Scotty. Yeah, you're right about that, mate. I just live around the corner. It's horrific. We'll get rid of that copper stuff connecting the NBN to the houses eventually. So it looks like the Griffins are probably holding 2. That's Anthony Ellercamp's worst bowl of the game. It's played pretty steady. So Joel Field on the mat. The 2023, I believe, New South Wales rookie singles champion was Joel. And that one's just, look, it's going to hang a little bit wide.
Probably wasn't.
Yeah, and weight was pretty good. Wasted good weight. There's an old saying in bowls called "Don't chase," and we won't worry about the last word.
It wasn't the one to chase.
No, it wasn't. Anthony Ellercamp probably finds himself definitely one down, close to two. Here in rivalry round, viewers of the Newcastle and Hunter Super League. Now, there's another bowls competition on up north somewhere. I can't recall what it's called. It's a something league anyway.
It's getting a lot of coverage.
It certainly does get a lot of coverage.
But it lacks something special, and that something special is right here in front of you tonight at Soldiers Point.
And it's the guy with the Governator written on the back of his shirt. The Governator. I like it.
Oh, I'd noticed that. That's
the Governator. Hayden Bojkowski on his forehand for the Griffins. In a little bit of trouble. 11-1. Down. And one down with the last bowl from Anthony Ellercamp. And he looks like he's very close. Might just slip past. Great effort. Great effort.
Bowls is a great game for nicknames. There's probably people viewing who have no idea what some of these names are about. Governator, I guess, is fairly obvious.
The Governator, yeah, pretty obvious, yeah. So Anthony Ellercamp is the Ant. That one's pretty obvious.
Tony Scott, the Uncle.
Yes, so the Uncle, and I've explained that one on air, why I'm called the Uncle. And back in the Premier League days and the early one-grade days at Raymond Terrace when we had Lennon, who needs no introduction into the game. He's my nephew. He used to call me Uncle Tony, Uncle Tony. Shane Evans, Uncle Tony, Uncle Tony, and it just stuck. So if you two boys are watching, Lennon, known as Punter, and Shane, known as Sevens.
S. Evans.
S. Evans, Sevens, hence that nickname. So it looks like it's 1 to the Griffins, and I think Hayden Bojkowski just got a bit lucky with that one. So Dave Girvan on his forehand, being the left-hander, he'd be trying to just slip under the Anthony Ellercamp bowl.
Let's just say he slipped well under it.
He certainly did. So it's still 1 to the Griffins, and if we have a look, it's 10-1 now after 6 in their triples game. So it's close to evening out. If we went to a live scoreboard, it'd be all square.
Looking across to the other game briefly, in the pairs game, Nelson Bay have skipped out to an 11-1 lead.
Wow.
That's John O'Davis skipping against Warren Shipley, while in the triples it remains very close.
Now look at this for a bowl. Has he got the edge? Oh, great effort. Now Hayden Bojkowski was looking to punch that black and white bowl through and stave maybe for 3 or 4. But he has missed it, and he has holding 1. But he's an experienced campaigner, Bodgy. He'll know what to do. He'll know to just trying to keep him honest, keep it close. As you can see, the pink bowl of Joel Field is shot. Tomorrow's weather. Okay, so David Girvan.
David Girvan again on his forehand, which is the club side.
Here's the ditch side of the green, and that the rink is in a fair bit, so you'll see him coming down. That's us on the right-hand side. Now he's trying to play that same shot, and I think he's a little bit delicate.
It just will not hold with that delicate weight.
Yep, and it's only 1, so 1 to the Griffins. So that'll get us back to 11-2 after 7. 3 ends to go. Now we do apologise, you probably missed the first 2.5 ends, viewers, but not our fault. We'll just blame technology. We'll just blame the bloody internet. Isn't that right there, work experience kid Declan? Yeah, and it was crazy. We just could not get a signal when we tried 3 or 4 different...
there was a moment there where I think they were going to rename him the unhappy bowler.
Oh yeah.
When things weren't going to plan. But it's all good now.
That cranky Hapster. No, he's a good man. He, it wasn't. Look, there's nothing he could do about it. And then we sort of just moved things around and unplugged it, and it came back on. And you know, it was everyone in the club too. They were affected. They couldn't even get phone reception. So Joel Field gets us underway, and he's played that one a little bit loose. Weight's not too bad, but across the head. Anthony Ellercamp will stay on his backhand, the inside of the green for the Magpies. Down he comes again. Skip's happy. And that's a great start by Anthony Ellercamp. The ant
with the Magpie bowls.
The ant with the Magpie bowls. Joel Field stays on his forehand. Down again. And I don't know if he's made much of a correction with this one. I think he's just slipped under again. So Anthony Ellercamp has forced him to swap hands as well. Down in his forehand. YouTube Live Sports, are you right? Are you sure about that? The Australian internet is Yep, okay. You are right. Don't worry. When we first got here and we turned everything on, everything was going a treat. Everything was fine. Then whoosh, it all happened at once. Anyway, Joel Fields come down with his third bowl. Cassie made amends, and he has. Welcome back. And he probably needed to do that one.
That's the one we'll remember.
That's the one he'll remind us about. Anthony Ellercamp on his forehand.
So Anthony Ellercamp with his third bowl. He needs to slide round his own here.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to give this good-looking lady a hug. The lovely Sylvia. Sylvia Martinez. So, Sylvia, welcome to YouTube Live Sports. You're actually online all around the world.
Really?
You are. Do you know anything about bowls?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll probably have to.
I think you'll fit in well here.
You'll get a gig. It's good to see you, Sylvia. So, you're inside at the raffles. Are you winning?
Sorry?
Are you winning?
No.
So you're going to go play the slappers? Yeah, good girl, Sylvia. So back to the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Griffins, as we know, are down 2-11 after 7 ends.
See you tomorrow.
And they are holding 1. Lots of people, lots of visitors here at Soldiers Point Bowling Club for rivalry rounds. The battle of the big fish, Nelson Bay versus Soldiers Point, and the Love Thy Neighbour war, Beresfield versus East Maitland, better known as the Magpies and Griffins.
This is an interesting end developing here. It's pretty close to ditch, and this is the kind of track that can really break your heart.
It certainly can. It certainly can. It can force you to take up squash. So on the forehand, Hayden Bojkowski, got to get that name right. He did make a bet with me that I'd stuff it up a few times, and I think he's won that bet.
Oh, he's well in front.
He's well in front. 0-0. So they are holding 1, the Griffins.
This is a tricky track over the full distance, but it still wouldn't make you take up golf croquet, I don't think.
Speaking of golf croquet, YouTube Live Sports has every chance they'll be covering the World Golf Croquet Championships in Tasmania in 2025. Stay tuned, viewers. We'll update you a little bit more about that as the weeks go on.
Now, the Governor's played his second bowl there, and they've got 3 seconds. So, Hayden Bojkowski. I beg your pardon, Bojkowski. Just lucky I didn't have money on that. Hayden Bojkowski.
Bojkowski down, holding 1, gets round this. If he gets a bit of a swing out of this, he's going to count, and he will. I think he'll go close.
That's an excellent shot. That is a really good shot.
Very, very good bowl. Holding 2. And if we have a look at the game next door, the East Maitland lead has been reduced from 10-1 to 10-5. So this end is very crucial for the Griffins.
Bit of a discussion going on here. Governor and Ant. They've got limited possibilities. They're looking at this bowl on the other hand from what David Governor's been playing.
Yep. Yeah, and as you can see there, viewers, the pink one's definitely shot. We think the back blue and red one of the Griffins of Hayden Bojkowski is second. Looks like it is from here, so they possibly do hold 2. And
so he's staying on his backhand and playing with weight.
So down he comes. Any piece of the jack is going to be advantageous for the Magpies. He might get the second shot. Unfortunately got his own, but it won't make a difference. It's still 2. Now, Hayden Bojkowski has 1 bowl to play to make it 3. And if... Oh, no, that's 2. He's played all his bowls, so I do apologise. So it now goes to 11-4 after 8.
Game has a really different complexion now.
It's 2. It certainly does.
That factor that no one can quite pin down called momentum, I think, has shifted.
I think you're right. Now, we look at the way we're looking at the moment, it's going to be a rubber each. But that deficit and that margin is going to... maybe come into play at the end of the night when we go to our singles and fours. And just letting you know that in our next live match after this one, we will be bringing you our first streamed fours game of the year in the Battle of the Big Fish between the Nelson Bay Marlins and the Soldiers Point Dolphins. We will be bringing you the fours match for that one. And we'll do our best to instruct the players to not stand in front of the camera. And Joel Field has got us off to a cracker. Good start.
They've persisted with this ditch-to-ditch strategy, which has served them well so far. Let's see what Ant can do here.
So as you can see, there's a bit of a look, viewers. Joel's holding
coming from the right direction.
And that's a pretty good reply from Anthony Ellercamp.
Oh, they got the magpie turtled. His magpie bowl fell the wrong way there, got even closer to the kitty.
What a shame. Joel Field with his second bowl of the 9th end, 11-4. They were down 11-0, clawing their way back, keeping the deficit close on his forehand, the inside of the green, the hot pink bowls. 12-2.
That's not me. That's right, you can say that. Oh, thank you. I am so honoured to have your permission. Cold play. Right.
So this was corrected. They've got 12-2 on the scoreboard, so we'll go with them.
We think it's 12-4 currently.
We think it's 12-4.
Anthony Ellercamp, another really strong lead bowl.
Great
over this distance.
That's very, very good bowling from Anthony Ellercamp. Yeah, we actually do think the score is 12-4. We don't think they've updated it. And just our recollection. So, as you can, it's very, very noisy here, viewers. Like 543 views for the first game. That's not bad. And it's very, very noisy because we have the raffles in there. The club is absolutely packed here at Soldiers Point. Now, Joel's had a bit of a run.
It's a reaching draw shot for a lead.
Yep. Very reaching. Anthony Ellercamp now has a chance to make it 3 and to really...
This would rub it in.
Rub it in. That's what the words I was looking for. So down he comes on his forehand. He's doing his best. He's not going to count, but I'll tell you what, he's going to have some... Oh, he may count. He's going to have a bit of nuisance value.
It's got some nuisance value again, and that bowl turtled. If it hadn't, it had finished on the line, which would have made things really tricky.
Yeah, you're right.
For Hayden
Bojkowski.
Thank you, Uncle.
Bojkowski. Bodgy, as they call him. So we'll just call him Bodgy. Bodgy. Sounds good to me. And that's the man in question right there, viewers, in front of you. Hayden Bojkowski. So he finds himself down.
Weight.
He's playing weight on his backhand. Little bit of a sexy bender. In off the pink.
Oh, great.
That's a great bowl. That is a great shot from Bodgy. Good shot. Should have got the old replay up for that one. I was 2 miles away. Team work experience kid Declan. We'll get it next time. I know, that's all right. We'll get it next time. Now, don't forget, on all our sponsors, EJE Architecture, Genuine Metal, Flooring, Coulls Air Conditioning, Refrigeration, Catering Equipment, and our Club Project scoreboard, which at the moment reads 12-4 after 8 ends to the Beresfield Magpies.
I think Genuine Metal might do a bit of roofing as well.
Bit of roofing? General Metal? I think they do, Proprietary Limited. Yeah. Bloody glasses. Anyway, I should know. I've mentioned them millions of times. I'll probably get a heap of business people will go in there and say, do you do roofing? Here at Genuine Metal, we certainly do. Now, Hayden Bojkowski. Now, Koski's trying to sneak in. And he has. That's a great shot.
Oh, this will make the Governator think.
Certainly will.
He's asked Ant for a look. Oh, was that signal only one down?
I'm not too sure with those fingers. Well, we know it's one anyway.
One for sure.
Bojkowski, that's the one, Bojkowski. Well, we got the
Thank you,
Kofsky part
Lisa.
right. Thank you, Lisa. And he did tell us a million times, and he did say that I would stuff it up. So, Bojkowski. Thank you, Lisa. We're much appreciative.
I'll keep calling him Bodgy.
I'll just call him Bodgy. Yeah. Now.
Oh, that's not a bad result.
Oh, he's got a bit of a boom shakalaka and just flopped in for the shot. So Hayden Bojkowski, Bodgy.
You can see the discussions going on. Ant saying you were in the area, mate.
Yep. You give
No,
it a chance,
he
Cup.
genuinely
You give it a
was.
chance. Got to be up when you're down. All the sayings, we know them all. We know them all here at YouTube Live Sports. Even work experience kid Declan's starting to come to party with some of the sayings in bowls.
Some of it.
Some of it. You have to put your headphones on and have a bit of a chat, mate. If you've got anything to say, that is. So, Bojkowski, as Lisa tells us, as he told us, down on... Having a look. Ooh.
Just under the head, as you can see. Now, this leaves Girvan with one to play. Holding one, yeah, and
he's not going to play it.
He said, if I have to lie across the green, I will. Do not play it.
So that'll be 1 to the Magpies, who are going to jump out to, we believe, a 13-4 lead with 1 end to go. Someone's smashed something. Someone's broken something.
That'd be a glass.
So we're just going to double check, see what they're going to put on the scoreboard. Boys, here they go. So we think it's 13-4. Our indications it's 13-4.
And in the triples next door, it's the Griffins 12-5 over the Magpies. So it's a pretty tight run affair when you look at the master board at this point.
It is 4-13.
So it is 4-13, we were right?
Yep.
Very good. So we get us underway in our last end of our pairs game between the... a griffin is what? A griffin is it a dragon with wings?
It's half lion, half eagle.
Okay,
mythological figure.
Clash. It's like the Battle of the Birds.
Well, you could
Can we say that?
Yeah. One of them has the advantage of being half lion, but Battle of the Birds.
Battle of the Birds and Battle of the Big Fish.
It's a cage fight, you see. Two birds in a... See what I'm getting at?
I do. Cage fight. I do. Lion. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What?
Two birds, cage.
Oh, yes, right.
Like your
bird
UFC cage
yep,
fight.
Yep.
Jeez,
Back to the action.
Put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, you did. No,
Complete waste of time.
Stupid me. Just didn't get hold of it.
All right, here comes Joel Field with his second. It's a good shot.
So, Anthony Ellercamp, who, I reckon he's been the best player on the rink.
He's had a couple of excellent ends leading in. What a difference it makes. You know, you think about the different roles. Bowls is a very, very simple game, as you know. Get him close.
Great shot, Ant.
And he's done it again. And as you know, we like a bowls cliche here. And they're cliches because they're true. The most important bowls cliche is that the role of the lead is much undervalued.
Yeah, he's the only one that draws to the naked flame, and what we mean by that is that pretty much when he rolls his bowls down, there's nothing in his way. And when he bowls his last one, he's only got 2 or 3 in his way. So compared to every other player, every other position in the game, they've got to negotiate, punch things, under, over, all those sort of things. So leader's got to be, as we say, dead-eye dicking.
And the results of his efforts are absolutely exposed. You know,
yeah, for sure.
If you play a loose one, it's obvious to everybody.
Yep, absolutely. So we're at a 13-4. The game next door's 13-5 on going into the last end. So these guys could split the rubbers, and the for and against margin could be identical. We'll just wait and see. So David Girvan on his backhand, coming down, the left-hander. And pretty good shot. That'll be second shot. Well done.
Hayden Bojkowski has not wasted any time. He's playing a good, solid reaching weight.
And he's moved something. So where did that jack go? Back on the spot. So he is one down. Still one to the pink bowl of Joel Field from the Griffins.
I will get it right this time. Bojkowski changed his hand.
Okay, let's have a look.
And I know I need to contact Finley, you know, and it was just like...
Get it off there. So it's got a clue. I don't know which one it is.
Now the Skips have one bowl each to come.
And the situation is, looks like it's one. It's only one. Two. The two. So
I'm not.
yeah, not too sure. Indication. Have a bit of a look, and we'll see what we can see. It possibly is two. The front pink one may be second shot. So it could be two to the Griffins. It's definitely one. Playing the last stand 13-4. The game next door is 13-5. David Girvan on his backhand. And this, if he's got the weight, he doesn't look too bad. I reckon he's every chance of drawing the shot. And thanks for coming. I'll just draw a toucher, take the pain away. One to the Magpies. Great bowl.
Hands. That is a cracking bowl.
That was a very, very good shot by David Girvan, the Governator, the Beresfield Magpie, the bowls coordinator. He's got all the tools in the box, and he just stomped on that two-shot fire from the Griffins.
You cannot overestimate the importance of this shot in terms of the score across the two rinks.
Yes.
This could make a huge difference. Big weight.
Bojkowski, down he comes, looking for a piece.
Wow. He got a piece of the backboard, but boy, he didn't miss by
almost got
much.
a piece of the couple of kids in the restaurant behind him there. There was a lot of power behind that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, that winds up our first game on YouTube Live Sports. And we do apologise, as we said, the first couple of ends, but as one of our viewers has said, the Australian internet is shit, and we've got to agree with him. But now we've got it going okay. Everyone around here seems to be happy now that they can use their phones. So what we might do, I might try and grab someone, Declan, and we'll see if we can interview someone. How do you think we'll go with that?
Hopefully well. Hopefully well.
Let's have a look.
The game continues on the other rink between Barrow and the Griffins. 13-5 to East Maitland. Jared Gorsuch, they've asked him to trail the kitty here if he can. He's in for shot. Two shots to Barrow. Two shots to Barrow on that rink. 13-7. We'll come back with a an official result shortly on that one. So we'll be back with the second game. We'll be back with the second game soon. In the meantime, I know Tony Scott is interviewing David Girvan, so we'll bring you that as soon as we can. Hang in there.
I'm calm. I am. It's just I had everything under control. I had tested everything. As soon as we go to do it, it falls apart.
That happens all the time, mate.
Yeah, I know, but I feel bad about it. I missed like the first 20 minutes of the thing.
Okay. Yep, okay, viewers. So what we'll do, turn me up a little bit more, Declan. That's it. We'll just let you know what's going on. So the games here are finished. There was one game that started a bit late because a couple of the players were late. So it is, I think the score, I can't quite see it over there. Can you see that? It's 6. It's on the furthest rink away. Rambo, what would be the score there? What would be the score over there in this game? Of this triples game?
I think it's 6-8.
6-8 to Nelson Bay. Looks like it. Soldiers Point to be the first team. So it's 6-8 to Nelson's Bay. Nelson, not Nelson's, Nelson. And trying to put a smile on work experienced kid Declan's face. He had it all running like clockwork and it crashed and burned and he's got a little bit worried about it, but it's all good. It's all trial and error. So we're just our next game will be the fours in the Battle of the Big Fish between Nelson Bay and Soldiers Point. So Nelson Bay being the Marlins, Soldiers Point being the Dolphins. That's a great shot by Richard Girvan, just run through. And we'll just change this. And that'll be our next game coming up in about 5 or so minutes, viewers. So stay tuned. We won't be far away. we'll go on. Yep. Okay, viewers, we're just about to get ready for our fours game, so we just apologise for... Old work experience kid Declan, you got it, son, well done. We just apologise for a couple of delays. We do believe a couple of the players actually got here late in one of the games in the Battle of the Big Fish. I think it was the triples match, Nelson Bay and Soldiers Point. So we are going to do something different in our next game, which is a 10-hand match in the Battle of the Big Fish in round 5 rivalry round. We're going to live stream a game of fours. Now this is going to be the first time we've ever live streamed a game of fours. So what I'm going to do is we'll let Mark just have a bit of a chat, and I'm just going to go and talk to the players to make sure that they do not stand in front of the camera. So that man, you may have a bit of a chat anytime you like. I'm just going to go and speak to the players to make sure they don't talk in front of the camera. You're on. You're back. He's just helping Rambo eat his schnitzel and chips.
Chris Rambledge, one of the greats, chowing down with a giant schnitzel and chips.
And we have another special guest. It is Eddie Martiz. It's not mute, mate. You're live to the world, Eddie. You're live to the world. If Sylvia can do it, so can you. Eddie Martiz, welcome to YouTube Live Sports. Okay. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Eddie's a guy I've used to work with his lovely wife Sylvia, and they are frequent members here of the Soldiers Point Bowling Club, home of the Dolphins. And I'm wondering, Ed, if you're ever going to take up the game of bowls.
Sorry?
Are you ever going to take up the game of bowls?
I'm thinking about it.
You're thinking about it? He's thinking about it. Now, he just lives down the road from Nelson Bay Bowling Club, so I reckon that might be his nest. Another shot at sailing first. So if it isn't an America's Cup dream, it's a game of bowls.
That's it. It's one or the other. One is a dream or the other.
One or the other. All right, I'm just going to go and speak to the players and let them know just about not standing in front of the camera. So Mark Gauntlet will take over. I'll be back in a second.
I always wanted to be a DJ, don't you?
Just an update on the game furthest away from us between was the game that was furthest away from us was Soldiers Point and Nelson Bay. We're going to bring you an official result on that shortly, on the outcome of that one. Now we're going to focus on this nearest rink, and it is a game of fours, and that's where the challenge comes. We've got to keep players out of the way on the cameras, and that's where Tony Scott's doing his magic now. That game's to start very, very shortly. Now, as you know, we've still got a bit of noise in the background. The raffles have been replaced with a solo artiste who'll be trotting out some of your favourite tunes you might hear in the background as we go.
Just for the figure of one end to the other. It's not much. I don't think there's much science involved in it. I think I'm signing it.
So we're nearly set here. It looks like we're about to go.
How are you, Tony? Good morning. Okay, came in there.
Okay, viewers, we are back. We are back. Turn us up, Declan. I can't hear myself. Go right up to the top. That's it. We're back, viewers. So we're going to have our game of fours in the Battle of the Big Fish. The Soldiers Point Dolphins up against the Nelson Bay Marlins. Now, we're just going through the results in the East Maitland game. They were 1 rubber each, and it's a shot. Thank you, Ed. Good to see you. It's a shot, a margin of +4 to the Magpies, so they're 1 rubber each. And we are just about to get our fours game underway. So if we have a bit of our look at our fours teams. Bo Black, hey fellas, hello Bo, how are you buddy? So we'll talk about who our fours teams. The Soldiers Point team would be
Tony Hinton will be leading.
Tony Hinton will be leading. Paul Russell will be playing second, I believe. Mick Beesley, we'll call him the Texan. He'll be playing third, and they'll be skipped by Gavin the Baby Doll Kelly. That is your team for Soldiers Point Dolphins. And the team with the Nelson Bay Marlins. There he is, the Baby Doll.
The Baby Doll never ages. Captain
never
Baby
ages,
Doll.
The Baby Doll. And our team for Nelson Bay will be our lead. I can't see. And they're having a roll up. Or straight into it. Looks like we'll wait and see. We'll see what they're going to do.
But from the other end, Richard Girvan, New Zealand great.
Absolutely.
Skipping for the Marlins in the Aquarium Wars.
The Aquarium Wars. So it is Kane Coulls, the former South Australian, played over 200 games for his state, I believe. He'll be leading up for the Marlins. Chrissy Edmonds, they call him Tickets. That's his name, Chrissy Edmonds. Jake Graham will be playing third, and that's what he's known as. And Richard Girvan, the New Zealand legend, will skip the team from the Marlins. So Kane Coulls with the yellow bowls, with Tony Hinton's got the dark bowls, the black bowls, and they're straight into it in our first end here of Battle of the Big Fish, our fours between the Nelson Bay Marlins.
Now, many of our viewers remember how well Tony Hinton equipped himself in the Matara singles fairly recently.
Oh, yeah.
Made the final, played a terrific game against, I nearly said young Daniel Hill. Not so young.
Young Daniel Hill. So Kane Coulls looks like he may be holding shot there. Looks like the yellow bowl on the line. But Tony Hinton come down and he's going to draw it. That's a great shot.
It's a cracker.
Great bowl, Tony.
And well protected now.
Very well protected. We have work experience kid Declan all over the cameras, all over everything now. The pressure's off. He's having a good time. And now he's got a smile on his face. We're winning, viewers. We are winning. And of course, my guest commentator this evening drove all the way up from Zetland in the hire car. Mark that man Gauntlet. Declan's put the headphones on, so I think there's every chance of making a comment. But he's going to have to turn his volume up.
Just so I can hear you.
Oh, he just wants to hear us. He just wants to hear us.
I'm standing right next to you.
He's the Tony Chalmers of YouTube Live Sports. So, Tony... not Tony Hinton, it'll be Paul Russell down on his forehand.
That's two good shots. That bowl's finished jack high.
Now we have got someone trying to get an update on the other game that we had earlier between in the Battle of the Big Fish, the first two rubbers. We've got someone on the job at the moment. I hope they haven't forgotten us, but they're trying to find out what's going on. So Chrissy Edmonds for the Marlins down on his forehand, finds himself 2 down.
He's played with a good line, but he just that yard, as we always say.
Just a yard, and he's just dropped a tad short. So Paul Russell, the big tall man, will leave team work. That's it. Declan's all over it. So Paul Russell, former major singles winner here at the Dolphins, down on his backhand, holding 2. The open hand gets inside the 2 yellows. He'll go close to counting.
Just got a give to get inside that one. Might get a ride. No, he's crashed.
So Chrissy Edmonds from the Marlins on the mat, playing second. Probably finds himself 2 down, staying on his forehand. Bit of an Alex Marshall lookalike.
Tatty.
Bit of a tatty. So
Marlin tatty.
he's probably just going to drop a little bit short, unfortunately. So still
Nothing past the head. This is the skippers both look very calm, but you'd be cursing, wouldn't you?
You'd be cursing. Now, the man jumping on the mat right now needs no introduction in the game of lawn bowls, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one and only Mick Beesley. We'll call him the Texan because apart from myself, he's the only Houston Texan supporter I know, and he knows everything about them, what's going on. So, Mick the Texan Beesley on the mat, holding 2. New South Wales representative, winner of many local district and state titles, and still struts his stuff pretty well. Down on his backhand. Drives a mean courtesy bus as well. Down he comes. Just going to run through, and it's not going to hurt. It's going to be a pretty good home.
He's gone well through, but, you know, it wasn't bad weight, was it? Because he could have sat that second shot.
Yep, exactly, yep. Could have sat on there to count. So Jake Graham, I think Richard Girvan's called him on the forehand. And that's what he's playing, down on the forehand. 822 viewers for the night, even though he had hiccups, but it's all happening. It's not going too bad. So Jake Graham for the Marlins. And then
He's joined a large bunch of balls out
the
there.
skipper will be a little bit disappointed in that, boys. You know, play with a bit more purpose. Even though it is the first end, we've been on the green already. Each rink's different on the carpet here at the Cove, home of the Dolphins. Or what did you call it earlier, that man? Did you have a name for this place? Well, it's not the Hangar. We know that's the name of the Jets. It's not the Nest. That's where the Griffins play. What are we going to call this place? The Cove?
The Cove, you like, unless you can do a dolphin sound. And that would be
I was going to say the porpoise spit, but we've got the wrong animal. Mammal, sorry. So, Mick Beesley, drawn another
Mick
one. That's great
Beesley.
bowls. That looks like it's 3 to the Dolphins.
Gets appropriate congratulations from the baby doll.
People keep asking me, why is he called the baby doll? And I'll tell you why he's called the baby doll. We went to America in 2005 to play in the US Open. Ladies and gentlemen, we would go out to Hooters and places like that and wipe ourselves out, and we were all struggling the next morning, but he woke up looking $1 million. Hence the name, the baby doll. Good man, Gav Kelly. Anyway, Jake Graham on the mat now finds himself 3 down on the first end in the Battle of the Big Fish in rivalry round, Newcastle and Hunter Super League. And this could be a very good shot. Oh, now he's got a bit of a dipsy doodle there and missed everything. I think he got a bit of a step off the left. It's a bit hard done by there, Jake Graham.
It was a cracking shot, and he very unlucky not to get a better result. Talking about the baby doll, I take viewers back to
the baby doll.
The beginning of Gavin Kelly's career, which, if I remember correctly, was at Waratah. One of the really powerful inner city clubs, I suppose you'd call them now, that is
one of the
no
original
longer
Super League clubs, original Premier League clubs, yep.
And, you know, if you go back to the 80s, the Channel 3, as it was showing major tournaments with Australian and international stars from Waratah. Always had fantastic greens. And that's where Gavin started, so he got a very, very good grounding in the game and retains the baby doll features.
Oh, the baby doll features.
He might have heard that.
Yeah, I think he
It's
did.
put him off. He could have thrown that one just a tad harder, I think.
He's still holding 3 though, even though the Jake Graham bowl was a really good bowl. It was just slipped past. He got that little bit of a step off the left when he went past the shot bowl. So Richard Girvan just asking the question of his third. And look like they're still 3 down.
The option here might be for Richard Girvan to play serious weight right up the middle, just clear the head. It's a very difficult shot to draw, even to get second, third.
It certainly is. But the Kiwi International with a few world titles under his belt. And that's a great shot. That is a great shot. So that possibly...
Now,
is that the toucher?
the issue here is
No, it's not.
the bowl.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So they're marking the position of the...
So the bowl's under the number 16, viewers. You can see that.
And that looks to be at least 2.
Yep. So if we just move that one across.
Point.
So there you can see.
That bowl coming across into view now. The dark bowl is second shot, we think.
So the bowl is under the number 16, and the white marker to the right of it is where the jack is. So it looks like it's 2 to the Dolphins. And Gav Kelly, the skipper's probably just got a little bit narrow there. It is 2 to the Dolphins, correct? Or the Marlins? I can't see the colour of that. No, it's got to be 2.
Yeah,
the touch is in the ditch, which was Tony Hinton's bowl.
Correct.
And the Mick Beesley bowl. So Richard Girvan trying to get very close here.
Now this bowl is going to sit on
That is a great shot. That is drawn the shot. What a shot by Richard Girvan.
It's not
still
the
one.
shot.
It's not the shot.
Sorry, still the toucher in the ditch was just that tiny bit
Well,
closer.
I think they both had their finger up there at one stage. A little bit of exciting in the battle of the big fish. No one can decide who's got the shot. So that'll be 1 to the Dolphins. They'll get us underway. First end of our 4s. And away we go. Now if we can just have a bit of a quick look at the singles game next door, which is between Warren Shipley and John O'Davis, who at this stage has not lost a game in this tournament in the Newcastle and Hunter Super League. So we can't quite tell what the score is over there. Too many bodies in the way. Good work there, work experience kid Declan. Doing a great job with the cameras. Everything seems to be going okay now. We've got no issues with internet.
Nothing wrong with that start from Tony Hinton.
Tony Hinton. So Kane Coulls on the mat with the yellow bowls for the Marlins. So it looks like they played 3. Can't tell. It's 5-0 to Soldiers Point in the singles. John O'Davis finds himself down 5-0.
And he is playing a very talented singles player in Warren Shipley.
Absolutely. And
been around the block.
Been around the block. I think he's played in every age group stateside in the last 18 months. Under 18s, open and seniors.
Yeah. It's a Greater
Newcastle region joke.
Yes, I understand he's still looking for a run in the development squad.
Oh, dear. In the reserves. How many games did you and I play in the Greater Newcastle reserves? We must have played about 200. Anyway. Tony Hinton just ducks under on his forehand. So Kane Coulls stays on the backhand. Both leads are very solid with their first 2. Something in that restaurant smells magnificent. He's just pulled that one's head off.
A terrific weight, but he did pull the head off that one.
Certainly did. Now Paul Russell will probably stay on his forehand. Any touch of the jack inside the yellow is going to count. Don't forget, viewers, jump online, YouTube Live Sports. Not only will you do the Newcastle and Hunter Super League, we do bowls events. Southeast and Metro Southeast have a lot of events, and there's a couple coming up the next couple of weekends. We've got some stuff coming up in Ballina over the Christmas break, end of December and January. It's all covered by YouTube Live Sports. But here at the moment,
Paul Russell's bowl was a really excellent shot, but it didn't help their cause.
No.
Got another really good bowl in the head, but it opened things up in a way that Baby Doll probably didn't want.
So Chrissy Edmonds, who's had the opportunity there, touched the jack. We'll see the shot bowl out maybe for 2. So it looks like the Dolphins are still holding 1 and a measure. Definitely 1, the Tony Hinton bowl, to 3 o'clock, viewers, if you look. 3 o'clock. Paul Russell Bowles will just come back. So Chrissy Edmonds now hasn't had a bowl that's got past Jack High yet. He'll be looking to make amends in the game. So down he comes on his forehand to get some turn out of it. Spinning late. He's going to get a rub off the yellow. Unfortunately not. His weight wasn't too bad. So Mick the Texan Beesley.
You know, it's such a good head for the point here. They got shot. They got all the bowls behind. You can play confidently, touch it, sit on the shot bowl.
So he's down on his forehand. You're exactly right, that man. He's just got to touch it to make 2 or 3. If he drags it 2 feet, he could make like a heap, like you said. And he's give this every chance to be a counter. That's got to be close.
If it's not a go, no, it's just out of the count, judging by that shot.
Yep.
Girvan giving a very, draw it, but don't be afraid to reach.
So
please.
Exactly. Jake Graham on the mat. He'll be playing his backhand, I believe, which is the inside of the green. Down he comes. Now, if he's got the weight, he's give it every chance. A little bit of an early turn. Even he can flop back inside off the yellow. Oh, unlucky.
One more foot, it would have been a great shot. It's a really good effort.
Now, has that changed the head? Because he's turned the yellow bowl once. So maybe that's brought that third shot in. Not 100% sure.
Now,
so
Gavin Kelly's asked Mick Beesley to stay on his forehand here, which is, he's got to be asking for reach to the kitty. You've got to be under that Jake Graham bowl, so you've got to be just reaching.
And he's every chance to. How's his weight? He's holding. This looks pretty good. In off, a touch. That's a magnificent shot by Mick the Texan Beesley for the Dolphins. He has dragged that jack back, and they are probably holding 4. Very, very good bowl, Mick Beesley.
Not his first game.
No, it's probably his 3rd or 4th. But he's certainly learned a lot in those few games. But can play, Mick Beesley.
He can't.
Can play and has been a sensational player for many, many years. So down on the forehand, Jake Graham looks to make amends. He's probably finding himself. Look, he could be 4 down. He probably is 4 down. If he gets some turn out of this, under that.
Gee, that's 2 good bowls.
Absolutely.
Again, another foot of weight wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So I think they've got to be close. He might have cut 2 out. So they're probably 2 to the Dolphins. And you are live on YouTube Live Sports here, ladies and gentlemen. Genuine Metal Roofing Proprietary Limited, EJE Architecture, Coulls Air Conditioning, Refrigeration, Catering Equipment are 3 of our major sponsors, including Club Projects. And on the Club Projects scoreboard, after one end of our 10-end match in the Battle of the Big Fish, Dolphins 1, Marlins 0. And I'm joined by Mark Gauntlet, the Waverley Kid, and welcome back to work experience kid Declan, who was sick last week at the hangar, but he's back at the Dolphin Cove this evening.
Okay, so you did decide on the name, did you?
We did what?
You did decide on the name you were calling it?
Unless you've got something.
Have you got something?
Have you got something, Declan?
I really don't.
Now Declan's got his confidence back. He's turned the mic up. We like it. Have you got anything? You're not sure?
No, I have no thoughts or opinions. It was just a bit of a heated discussion earlier between the 2 of you.
Well, I think
we've had a few of them over the years.
We could bring the viewers in. A name for this venue.
Yes. Okay, viewers, send us some messages. What do you want to call this place here? This is Soldiers Point Bowling Club with the roof. It can't be the Hangar because they're not the Jets. It can't be the Nest because they're not a bird. It can't be the Pit because they're not porpoises. So what can it be?
I could go with porpoise spit. I mean,
porpoise
we're
spit?
not that fussy about different species.
The porpoise pit?
Yeah.
No, we're not that fussy. No, the
for those of a certain age, porpoise spit.
Oh, don't get me started. My favourite movie. Anyway, Gav Kelly, the Dolphins holding a 1-0 lead. Viewers, we're asking for a name. Okay, we've got some coming in. The Porpoise Pool. Scotty Thorogood says the Porpoise Pool.
Don't mind that.
Don't mind that.
Not bad.
Now, Gav Kelly.
Gee, that ball's looked to hang there. I mean, he was a couple of feet short, but it did look to hang.
It certainly did.
While we were talking about the important issue of the name of the venue, Richard Girvan. Thank you, Rosemary. Richard Girvan did change things up.
He did.
For the Marlins. They look to be only one down at this stage.
And over on the other rink, it's 5-3 now. That
Scott Thorogood. Sorry, I like the aquarium. I really do.
the aquarium. Yeah, right. Oh, wow, unlucky. So I think it is only one. We're going to look at the indication. That's one, so it's 1 to the Dolphins. They get off to a 2-0 lead after 2 here in the Battle of the Big Fish. Rivalry round 5.
Right here at the aquarium.
At the aquarium at the Newcastle 100 Super League.
Like World Sports.
It is like World War. And what's your name, my friend?
Frank.
Frank. Hello, Frank. I'm Tony. This is Mark, and this is Declan. And you're on YouTube Live Sports. We have Frank, and he's very impressed. He thinks it's like Wide World of Sports. Are you a bowler, Frank?
I did once. I played in Canberra.
Played in Canberra?
Joined a team. I played triples.
Played triples?
And we won the chickens.
You've done the right thing, Frank, because stop now. 100% record.
Yeah, that's it. So Frank, ladies and gentlemen, has just wandered up behind the skybox and told us he's won the chicken run in Canberra. And then he's retired as a winner. Well done, Frank. Very well done. Well done. Okay, we're at 2-0 after 2 ends here in our game of fours between Soldiers Point and Nelson Bay. And we've got
another really solid start from Tony Hinton.
The fish bowl, and let's call it the
Piscatorial Paradise. Slippery Pisces.
From the
Hello.
So I know, who that man is, and you know who that man is, and I'll fill you in a little bit later.
The issue there is that after a little piscatorial action, people won't be able to say it.
Man of many words, you are, my friend. The Piscatorial Paradise. So Tony Hinton with his second bowl. We could see that Kane Coulls has just gone a bit heavy. So we are at 2-0 after 2 ends here in our Battle of the Big Fish at the Fish Bowl.
I'm going to rename...
We can't call it we can call it the Fish Bowl.
You call it the aquarium.
I think the aquarium. Scotty Thorogood, I think you're on a winner.
You're a winner. I don't know what the prize is, but well done.
The prize is a guest in on YouTube Live Sports. So Kane Coulls, ladies and gentlemen, one a bit heavy, this one here. Very, very close, give it every chance, but it's not too bad.
Is it too early to say in relation to the baby doll armchair ride at this stage?
No, it's never too early. No, he's copying an armchair ride. Tony Hinton in particular is probably one of the form bowlers, in all honesty, going around Newcastle, the greater Newcastle region of Maitland. You did mention his good run in the Matara singles. Very prestigious event. Did very, very well. And Paul Russell falls back, probably not quite, so it still looks it's just like the 2. The Piscatorial Paradise. We have the aquarium. The aquarium looks like it's the winner at the moment, viewers, and got something else. We've got a few of them there. The aquarium looks like it's got the money. Scotty Thorogood. Now this one here by Chrissy Edmonds. It's just short again.
And that was really a shot.
Yeah, look, have to make sure you arrive with that one.
Very easy from here, but he was asked to land those bowls.
Yep. So Paul Russell has an opportunity here just to, maybe just tuck that jack, hide it. Just tuck it around the corner on his forehand if he gets under those 2 wider bowls. And he's just going to do that, and he's going to count. If he falls on top of the jack, now he's set up a target. Now Chrissy Edmonds now has been instructed he must arrive. He must arrive, and that's what needs to happen here. And he certainly is. And I'll tell you what, he's not a mile away. Chris Edmonds, he's got one out.
He's got one out.
Great effort.
Paul Russell's excellent bowl provided that target. Unfortunately, Chris Edmonds couldn't really take advantage, although he did take one out.
He did.
Mick Beesley, one of the most deliberate deliveries you'll see, and with good reason.
Yep, and the beautiful follow-through. And one of the game's greats and one of the game's gentlemen is Bezo. So 935 viewers and climbing, even though we had no internet for 2.5 ends. No sound, we had nothing. It was all happening there, work experience kid Declan, wasn't it, for a little while?
It's too much.
It was too much. it was too much. Yeah.
Don't make me relive it.
But we've got him laughing now, we've got him smiling. Just take it in your stride, shrug it off and she'll be
Jake
right,
Graham
mate.
with weight.
Down he
Jake Graham
comes.
with weight. Is he Kitty?
Close. Jack in the can. Great
Ooh.
shot.
Now it's gone out of bounds.
So it's going to be respotted, and it looks like now the Marlins are probably going to be holding
Very
a few
first bowl,
here. Yeah.
I think.
Scotty Thorogood. That
Scotty
is awesome.
Thorogood, you're having a huge night. There was no netting.
Plenty of porpoise in that delivery. Zephyr bricklaying, I like that. One of Paul's glad he dodged playing against Joel. Jakey, you might have to ask him. Anyway, we see the Marlins probably holding 2, maybe 3. Just to the right of us too, we have another gentleman who is folklore around at the Soldiers Point Bowling Club, which is Chris Ramage. He needs no introduction. Needs no introduction whatsoever, does Rambo. You all know Rambo.
He did not need an introduction to that schnitzel either. He absolutely destroyed it.
We know another bloke that likes the schnitzel. Great shot. What a bowl. Mick Beesley, the Texan, has played a ripper, we will say.
So the Marlins have a toucher in the ditch. I think I'm correct in saying Jake Graham's bowl.
Correct. Yep, and it's right. Yeah, you can see it there. I can actually see our cable running across that toucher, so it's easy to... Is that our cable? It is our cable. It's actually running across the toucher. I'll go and fix that in a minute. Yeah. Anyway, it's easy to see the toucher in the ditch. But they do have one with Mick Beasley's bowl.
The seminar's now over. They've had a long discussion.
Good morning, Mark and Tony. Good evening, rather. Shane Soper. Hello, Shano. How are you?
Soaps, I'm going to tell a story about you in a minute. So it's good.
That's good. Isn't it good to have that man back on the bowl circuit? Let's have a look here. Great effort. And that man, ladies and gentlemen, is Mark Gauntlet, the ex-Mayfield West legend, Raymond Terrace Jet legend, soon to become the, what are Waverley called? The Waverley what?
Well, we've been through this, Tony.
I can't remember.
Pirates.
Oh, the Pirates. R.
Yeah, every pennant game, every player has a parrot on their shoulder.
Every player's got a parrot on their shoulder. I like it. Hello, Shane Evans, the uncle, and the hat. Well, I was going to run through some of these nicknames. We've got that man, the hat. Young Marky was a big one there for a while. He's had a few. But it's good to have him back. Anyway, the baby doll, Gav Kelly, finds himself holding one, trying to...
So what's the object here of Baby Doll's bowl? Gavin Kelly. Let's call him by his real
As
name.
we can see, this is what we're trying to do. So they are holding one.
He's trying to reach the yellow bowl, but he's got a difficult passage through those bowls in front.
He has. So Richard Girvan.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Girvan have a lash here. I mean, he doesn't want to take out Coulls' second shot, the yellow bowl.
What's his track to the bowl? It looks like he's got... Yeah, look, there's plenty of room there, if you can see, viewers. He's got a decent track to the bowl.
So he's playing
Down he
reaching
comes.
weight.
Down he comes on his... Oh, he's just going to get the edge.
But his bowl stays in the head, so he's still got a chance.
Yep.
We've got Lisa in the chat asking if we have an update from the other rinks.
Any update from the other rinks? Lisa Bojkowski, we will give you an update. So next door in the singles between the Dolphins and the Marlins, it's 5 each, I believe. In the singles game, East Maitland and Beresfield. Beresfield's leading 5-4. And in the far game, the fours game, I think it is 2-all between the Magpies
on 3 ends.
The Magpies and the Griffins on 3 ends, 2-all. 5-4 in the singles.
Chris Ramblage.
Yep.
Thank you.
Chris Ramblage. So that would be... I texted to him today, Ramblage. So back to our game. There's 1 to the Dolphins. Well, the screener by Mick Beesley. Richard Girvan
shot here.
is close. That is a great bowl. What a shot. Richard Girvan, former world champion, New Zealand legend, has played a Bobby Dazzler. And that is 1 to the Marlins. So they are on the board after 3 ends. A very close affair. 2-1 after 3 in the Battle of the Big Fish here at the Aquarium, we're going to call it. No worries, Lisa. No worries. GOB Mark, Shane Soper, has that got anything to do with the story?
Oh, yes, Shane Soper's gone straight to the heart of the matter. I want to talk to viewers about mental preparation for bowls.
Mental preparation?
That's right. I once played in a tournament with Warren Shipley, who's on the track here tonight. Daniel Hill, who's not as young as he used to be, and the wonderful Shane Soper. The event was the Matara Fours. We had a breakthrough.
You did win this, correct?
Well, there was that, but that wasn't the important breakthrough.
Oh.
The important breakthrough is how you mentally prepare yourself.
Okay.
And so we...
Good start, Kane Coulls.
We struck on an approach which we borrowed from the swimming great Susie O'Neill. Marvellous swimmer.
Yes, right.
And she was interviewed once about her own mental preparation in those moments before you go out and take your position on the blocks. What was she thinking in the dressing room with the other competitors before the Olympic final? And she said, we all sit down, and I looked to the left of me at the competitors.
Tony Hinton.
Good shot, Tony Hinton. I looked to the left of me at the competitors. I looked to the right of me at the other competitors, and I say, game on, bitches.
Game on, bitches. That's the gob.
That's the gob, G-O-B. So... next time you're playing with Shane Soper, G-O-B. That's what we used, and that's what got us over the line.
Shane Evans, to answer your question about Curry next Thursday. I don't believe we're at Curry on Thursday. Then Puss has just said Curry is next Friday, Shane Evans. So I'll have a look at the calendar and find out where I'm going to be. But one way or the other, YouTube Live Sports will be there covering round 6 of the Newcastle and Hunter Super League next week, as we do every week on YouTube Live Sports. So Tony Hinton's holding 2-1 after 3. We go around the grounds. It is 2-5 in the fours match now between Beresfield and East Maitland. East Maitland have jumped out to a 5-2 lead. Beresfield lead 5-4 in the other game. So at the moment, it looks like it's 2 rubbers each, and the margin would probably only be 1 or 2 shots. So very close affair there. And in our singles game here, I can't quite tell. 7-6 Soldiers Point over the Nelson Bay in the singles. And in our feature match, the fours in the Battle of the Big Fish, it's 2-1, the Dolphins over the Marlins after 3 ends.
So Tony Hinton had shot Edmonds second for the Marlins, has played a very good bowl, which I think has stolen the shot, but it's very close here. It's Paul Russell's first bowl as second.
And it's probably a time Chris Edmonds has probably struggled a little bit in the first 3 ends, and that would give him the world of confidence drawing that shot. Oh, the Christmas lights have come on here.
Things got a bit festive here in the aquarium.
Very festive. Very festive at the aquarium. And Chrissy Edmonds going around the back. Not a bad bowl. Sits inside the Paul Russell bowl. That's a pretty good shot. Looks like they are holding 1. I think Richard Girvan's indicated it is 1. Almost 1,000 views. You would have seen our stats on social media this week, viewers. YouTube Live Sports is kicking... What would we be kicking? Kicking We're kicking butt. We'll just say that.
Leave it at that, I think.
We're kicking derriere.
I know, it sounds like you said worse on the air tonight.
Sounds like what, sorry?
It sounds like you said worse. You've thrown a couple of B words.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Game on bitches.
Yeah, actually, it's very adult content tonight, isn't it?
It's adult content, yes. We're after a certain time. It's 7:59, so after 8 o'clock, it's open slather here at YouTube Live Sports. That works better for me than Puss, Shane. Something I'll never forget. Absolutely gold, Shane Sober. So keep them comments coming as Mark Gauntlet reminisces about the team talks leading up to winning a Matara Fours.
Keep it simple. Game on bitches.
And Jake Graham, not a bad bowl there either. So that brings Mick Beesley onto the mat. His first bowl of the fourth end. 2-1. Looks like he's going to play his backhand. And I think it is his backhand. Down we come. Now, if he sits the Chris Edmonds bowl, he's every chance of scoring. He's just not going to turn enough, I don't think. But covers that backpack as well. Probably just a little bit too quick. So Jake Graham looking to add to what he already has. So Shane Evans, I take it that you can play Friday. That's the message I'm receiving. Jake Graham. Now, it does look like it's up and down shot, but we did get the indication that it is one to the Marlins. Now, for the life of me, I thought that was going to be sitting on top of the shot pole there for a second, and it's got another little kick.
A lot of bowls on the right-handers' backhand on this ditch side are just hanging a little bit.
We did see a few coming back the other direction, playing the forehand, the Jake Graham one in particular, coming back to where they're bowling from earlier in the piece. Looked like he was going to touch the jack and just missed it. So as the if and when the door opens into the club, you'll be able to hear the solo artiste. Maybe you could type in what you think the song is that he's doing. Yeah. Door's just opening now. Yeah.
I don't think it's picking up on the mic.
No.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's on YouTube. I believe they're playing it in the club right now.
Yeah, but before I search on my phone,
Oh, yeah.
what do I search for?
Don't you?
YouTube Live Sports.
So Richard Girvan on the mat.
Sure. Thank you very much.
No worries, Frank. So we've got a
Frank's a convert. He's won the
Frank's converted. He's won the chicken run, and now he's a YouTube Live Sportsman.
He looks like he's going to go back for more.
More chicken or more YouTube? Anyway, Richard Girvan, let's get back to the game. So it's up and down for shot. Now I can see his intention was to try and get under the jack, sit the Tony Hinton bowl and stay for two. But Gavin the Baby Cole Kelly is on the mat now.
Really hasn't had to play a bowl so far, Gav.
No, he hasn't. He's had that bit of an armchair ride and very steady player. Last year, I think he won his first district title, Gav, and thoroughly deserved. Look, he's a very good fellow and a great bloke to have around, good company, and was very deserving of winning that district event. So
and I have
well
to
done
say,
to him, Gav.
Gavin Kelly is one of the easiest people to play with.
Yeah, agreed.
Directs ahead well, understands the game well, but also just very generous with his players. So having a close look at this effort by Girvan, this is, I think, the issue on this hand, where draw weight, they seem to be hanging out. They play, as Richard Girvan was trying to do there, a few feet through to sit the Soldiers Point bowl, and the bowl seems to pull across the head.
So they are indicating, I think Mick has indicated that he believes it is one down. So Gav Kelly, as you can see,
Gav Kelly on his forehand now.
on his forehand.
So his last bowl was probably 2 feet over, and now he's just overcorrected.
Yep. So it was one to Soldiers Point.
Well, we didn't get a very clear call on that early on, did we?
No. But it was definitely one to Soldiers Point.
Unfortunately, viewers, on the camera, it looked like the Marlins were holding. Apologies.
Yeah, it did. Well, they indicated that they were one, and you would imagine the shots they played gave you an impression that the impression that they were one shot. So Kemler's cracked it, and we've just fixed it. So they'll get us underway. So that was 1 to the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, correct.
Correct. So that'll get us out to 3-1 after 4. So what a close affair. It's been one shot every end. And great work by work experienced kid Declan. He almost had his pants pulled down early. He was copping a bit of heat. But he's handled it with a plume. He's poked out his chest, lift up his chin, and he's kicking its butt. Now, good shot here by Kane Coulls.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid opener by Tony Hinton, whose first bowl finished jack high, slightly narrow, and from the moment he let that first one go, he knew it was narrow from his body language. Let's see how he goes this time.
And here's another one it's referred to as the ant, I believe. Tony Hinton.
Oh, he might be like the fire ant or something. He'd be a different ant.
Ah, fire ant. Yeah.
Two great bowls.
Two great bowls. It's playing very well, Tony Hinton.
Very steady game.
Absolutely.
The crowd behind us absolutely loving it.
What's that, mate?
The crowd is absolutely loving it.
The crowd's loving it, and I think that's because we've converted Frank. Frank was here for the raffles, and now I think he's pretty much signed up. He signed up.
Kane Coulls, another good bowl, just slipping under the head. Call here is just to Paul Russell, just to turn Tony Hinton's bowl. If you miss it, you're going past to a good home.
Yep. Somewhere
Inside Coulls' last bowl.
So down on his forehand, Paul Russell. And as you can see, like Mark said, he's got that black one to ride. He probably won't have to. I reckon he's going to be close to drawing a second. And that's a good shot. I'm not quite sure if it is second shot. But we have Chrissy Edmonds. His first bowl. And once again, he's dropping that little bit short, probably.
Does this carpet change much in the evening, over the course of the evening, Tony? What's your...
I'm not 100% sure, but the man to our right would be able to tell us.
Chris Ramblage, this carpet, does it change much over the course of the evening?
It gets quicker as it gets cooler.
Quicker as it gets cooler.
As the temperature drops.
Okay, and look at this bowl from Paul Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Changed hands and has drawn another shot. Great bowl. Looks like the Dolphins will be holding 2. Battle of the Big Fish, 3-1 after 4.
From the aquarium.
From the aquarium. White ant or termite. Thank you, Scott Thorogood.
Scott Thorogood.
Very, very complimentary nicknames. White ant or termite. I'm not even going there. Anyway.
Creative Friday night for Scott Thorogood, isn't it?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. He's Boydie's mate. I think they work together. Scotty, you work with Boydie, don't you? You can just text yes or no. But, yeah, Scotty, decent man. Loves his bowls. I believe he's retired, but I don't know if that's an in-house joke or anything like that, but he might be able to tell us.
So Nick Beesley on the mat here.
On his forehand. Down he comes. He's probably
He's not that happy with that one.
No. And he had good weight too. They are holding 2. I think it is only 2. But Jake Graham, who's probably been the pick of the players, well, he's the back end for the Marlins have been very, very good, and they've actually kept them in the game because it could have been, a bigger deficit. But Jake Graham and some really big shots by their very experienced skipper and Richard Girvan have kept them in the match.
Jake Graham unhappy with that one, but it's true. I think he's played a lot of good bowls
under a massive amount of pressure
and without a lot of luck.
So Scotty Thorogood, correct for what? You retired or? Yeah,
correct. You work with,
or you work with Boydie. Yeah, that's it. Good memory, that man. So Mick Beesley, pretty good shot, covers the 2 yellows.
And that is a good shot because that's the shot Richard Girvan is calling is sit the shot bowl, trail a little bit.
Yep.
And to place for Mick Beesley to put his bowl between the 2 yellows takes away some of the threat.
Now Jake Graham comes down. We just have a look. It's 10-7 to Soldiers Point on the rink next door in the singles. Warren Shipley over John O'Davis. Now let's remember that John O'Davis hasn't lost a game in the Super League yet. Whoopsie daisy. Now Jake Graham's going to get a result, and that's going to be 1 to the Marlins.
ITA in the area.
In the area.
Now we're looking across now to the game between Beresfield and East Maitland. It's a little bit tricky with so many players on the track.
So it's 5-3 in the fours and 13-5 to Beresfield in the singles.
So both games Beresfield is up.
Correct.
Have I got that right, Tony?
I think you have, mate. I think you have. 3-2, and they just didn't change the scoreboard. Well, there's still a bowl to go, that's probably why.
Jumping ahead of the gun.
You're jumping ahead of the gun, so it's still 3-1 on 4, Declan. So it's good to see you're on the ball.
I know, you're talking about getting one.
No, he's holding one.
That is, he's only got 2, but that is a great sighter for Gavin Kelly there. He's working up into that gap to sit on the Chris Edmonds bowl that had been pushed up.
Just talking about the internet and stuff now, we're actually lucky we've got a good stream, but we can't even get phone connection at the moment, so yeah, we are quite lucky at the moment. But there's been times we haven't been lucky. But touch wood. We're going all right. So Gav Kelly finds himself 1 down with the Jake Graham bowl, and he's playing a bit of a searcher. Is he on his backhand, on his forehand rather?
Yeah, if he can. He's got
holding
the weight
well
to hold.
He's just going to duck under.
It's hard weight on carpet, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Like synthetic greens, there's 2 weights. There's draw or there's drive. That's the way I look at it. So Richard Girvan holding 1 brings the score back to 3-2 live. If he gets another one, 3-all after 5. He's probably just going to sail a bit wide. It's gone past. So that is...
I believe I did see the one go up.
You see the one that you are right. Work experience kid Declan is all over the scoring. It is 3-2 after 5. Very close affair in the battle of the big fish. Dolphins v Marlins, rivalry round, Soldiers Point Bowling Club, better known as the Aquarium. And it's all happening. Mute me.
I'm going to just go and find out what the scores were in those first 2 games of Nelson Bay and Soldiers Point.
All right, Kane Coulls' first bowl is ditch to ditch. It's not a bad starter. He's within 2 feet. Tony Hinton sticking with his forehand. And as a lead, he doesn't want to be put off by that first bowl being even potentially in his track. He's just working to get a close ball. He had a great track. He needs probably 4 feet there.
Okay, so we just found out that in the first 2 rubbers, the triples and pairs in the Battle of the Big Fish, Nelson Bay and Soldiers Point, the Marlins won both rubbers. So as it stands, they are it'd be 2 rubbers each, as it stands, if we went live. On the live scoreboard here in rivalry round, so Nelson Bay has defeated Soldiers Point.
In the singles, Warren Shipley's leading 8. 11-8.
Warren Shipley's leading 11-8. So Soldiers Point are up in both singles and fours, and Nelson Bay won the triples and pairs. So they're 2 rubbers each at the moment. We know East Maitland and Beresfield shared the honours in the first 2 rubbers, and at the moment Beresfield is up in the singles and in the fours. So they could have a 3 rubbers to 1 lead. On the live scoreboard, it's 3 rubbers to 1.
It's a good shot by Chris Edmonds. It doesn't, look like an amazing result, but he's finished jack high. He's in the count at this stage on a hand that is proving a bit tricky.
Yep. It's a very tricky green, as you did say before, and anyone's had the honour and the privilege of playing on the carpet here at the aquarium.
Oh, and Paul Russell will take that. He hasn't got shot, but he's played a narrow bowl, landed on Edmonds first.
So it is probably 2, maybe... no, it'd only be 2.
2, if it's 2. Oh, there's all kinds of results being achieved here. It's a narrow shot by Edmonds. Just not absolutely clear how many it is to the Marlins at this stage.
Yep, so it's 2, could possibly 3. So Paul Russell's just ducked under. I don't think his weight was too bad to get the result, but he's just ducked under. Over 1,000 views tonight, even with our little hiccups. And work experience kid Declan did everything in his power to fix it, and he got on top of it. So well done, work experience kid Declan. We're going to have to give you a new name.
I was about to say,
I think work experience kid Declan's the novelty's wearing off.
I think the novelty's wearing off because he's the most capable person here.
I've got no doubt about that. We're the talkers,
That's
and
a great
he's
shot
the
by
worker.
Jake Graham.
keep going at this rate, I'm going to take both your jobs.
Listen to the confidence. Listen to it. It's all happening.
Oh, settle down,
and he's
big
loving
fella.
Listen, after a rough night, I need to have that little bit of confidence. I feel like I've earned it.
Oh, God love you. You're a good boy.
So that was an excellent shot by Jake Graham.
It was.
Mick Beesley. This feels like one of the few points where the point is under a fair bit of pressure here. Beesley, great line. He's going to sit on Paul Russell's. That doesn't affect the count. It gives Soldiers Point a back bowl, but they are under the pump here.
And just to give you an update, viewers, in that other competition that's up north of the border.
Oh, there's another game on, is there?
Yeah, there's another competition up there. It's I don't even know who's going in, who's winning, who's doing what. Anyway, KO Sports will be able to let you know, Fox Sports will be able to let you know, but YouTube Live Sports have got the Battle of the Big Fish, Dolphins v Marlins at the aquarium, rivalry round 5.
I don't want to overstate it, but this is a huge bowl for Beesley.
It certainly is. First time they've probably been under pressure. First time Mick's actually been down a multiple.
He's playing weight up on his forehand.
Is he going to hold?
He can get that
Off
front
the
shot
yellow.
bowl.
Oh, a little bit unlucky.
Still a couple down. From here, anyway.
So So just to give you an update, in that other competition north of the border, I think the Adelaide Pioneers defeated the Melbourne Extreme in the elimination game. Then the Sydney Saints have defeated the Adelaide Pioneers. Sydney Lions are playing the Tweed Ospreys. The loser will play the Sydney Saints. The winner will go through to the grand final. So I think it's a 3-horse race between the Sydney Lions, the Tweed Ospreys and the Sydney Saints. And good job to the Sydney Saints, their first year in the BPL. So well done to them.
They went in with a fair side.
They certainly did, but sorry I can't give you any more information on the reserve grade competition because we're here at the big game.
There's another
great shot, Richard
good
Girvan.
shot, Richard Girvan. Very sad in the in that minor event north of the border to see our friend Ali Forsyth, who played a lot of good bowls in the Newcastle region many years ago.
Certainly did. Great man, Albie Fosdyke.
Albie Fosdyke.
In all honesty, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very, very good event. It's chock-a-block full of talent. Seen the likes of Nicky Brett, Paul Foster, of course, Alex Marshall.
He's
Great
been called
shot.
on.
And the baby doll has ripped off the Band-Aid and erased the pain and drawn the shot for the Dolphins. Yes, so if you get a chance to have a look at the Premier League, have a bit of a sticky beak. Make sure you flip back over to YouTube Live Sports and watch the Newcastle and Hunter Super League, the five-a-side event, the first year, brought to you by AEGE Architecture, Genuine Metal Roofing, Coulls Air Conditioning, Refrigeration, Catering and Equipment, and our club project scoreboard at the moment says Dolphins 3, Marlins 2 after 5 ends. Halfway through.
In the singles encounter between Marlins and Dolphins, very, very close now, 11-10 to Warren Shipley.
You can probably see that on your scoreboard there, ladies and gentlemen. 11-10.
Big bowl here by Richard Girvan.
Wow. And what a shot.
Oh.
I think he's still... Wow.
Still one bowl to come.
Yep.
Gavin Kelly. And did anybody see an indication? It's hard to tell on the camera,
it could be 3. It could be 3 to the Marlins. Because I know Gavin's got the lighter colour of the green bowl.
Oh, I see. All right.
And the blue one belongs to Jake Graham. Possibly 2.
He'd want a fair bit more running, wouldn't he? Let's see the indication here.
So I think it could be 2. That is 2. So it's 2
they've
to the Marlins. Viewing numbers are going through the roof now here at the aquarium.
Now, as we look across to the game on the other side, we've got in the 4s, Beresfield are up 6-3 after 6, and Beresfield up 17-8.
Yes.
In the singles, is that correct?
That's correct. So the 18 end games, so after 13 ends. So Boydie has decided to tell you that your nickname is Decky. So no more work experience kid Declan, it's just Decky.
Decky.
So that's what you are now going to be referred to as Decky. The other comment, Ali Forsyth will be playing for East Maitland next season. Yes, Troy Burton, we do know that he will be plying his trade as a Griffin, him and his good mate Shannon McElroy, who are both fine fellows.
Ali Forsyth played, some of you will remember, a good few years at Raymond Terrace when we first went into the Premier League.
Hence that's how he became Albie Fosdyke.
Albie Fosdyke. People struggled with his name. Sometimes deliberately.
But he loved it.
He's an absolute gentleman.
One of the greatest blokes on the planet is Ali Forsyth, just a champion guy. Anyway, back to the game, 4-3. Some great stories. Back in the day, no, that's enough. Shut up. 4-3 after 6 ends, Marlins v Dolphins. So as it stands, John O'Davis is only 2 behind now, so we could have a clean sweep here to the Marlins away from home. A little bit of breeze coming up now. Viewing numbers, they're going for the roof now. Decky.
I don't know how I feel about it.
You don't know, mate. The bosses give you the name. You can't do anything about it.
It's simple, Decky. Just take credit.
All right. You know what? We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it.
Ian Lean, I like that. don't even know if I should say that. That's funny. But you are 100% right, Lino. Welcome to the stream tonight, Ian Lean, one of Newcastle's greats.
One of the great slaps in the face. I could just say it from the outside that the BPL has put a team in called the Jets. There was always a leading Australian club called the Jets,
who applied for the same licence.
Anyway, we'll put that behind us.
We will. I actually got a friend request, an invite to be a member of the Jets from Matty Flapper the other day. So Matty's another legend of the game and a great fella. And I just can't bring myself to
you'd only be one
follow
Jet.
the Jet, and especially the pink ones. But anyway, all the best to them. There was never an issue with those guys entering the Premier League. Good luck to them, and had a great side, just quietly.
Meanwhile, on the track here, in this Force game, Paul Russell's played a really important role here because they're playing nearly ditch to ditch. The breeze has actually come up a little bit here, and the Leeds bowls were not their best. They've both played extremely well early on in the game, but it was a loose start, and now Paul Russell's corrected that with a very good bowl.
And Chrissy Edmonds is probably just once again he's sort of struggling to find his weight on the carpet green. Now, when they've got back into the game and hit the front, he actually did play a good end or two there to add to those.
Paul Russell has the opportunity to really drive the advantage home here.
He does here. He certainly does.
And he's done a pretty good job of it.
He has. Two good bowls by Paul Russell. Two good bowls.
Pressure again on Jake Graham. He's played a lot of really good bowls tonight.
He has, and the way him and Richard Girvan were actually playing was, they weren't going to fall that far behind because they were playing good conversion shots when they were in trouble and cutting the scores down to 1. Hence to say it was only like 3-2 after 5.
It's true, because the Dolphins absolutely jumped out of the blocks, particularly through the excellent leading of Tony Hinton.
They certainly did. Now, Mick, the Houston Texan Beesley on the mat looks to add to the Geelong Cabra Scottish Jets. I like it. Yes, they did. They were eliminated. They didn't make the playoffs, mate. You know, they did not make the playoffs. So Mick Beesley down on his backhand, holding 2. Gets in between the yellow and blue. The Kane Coulls, Jake Graham bowl to count.
He's coming from the right direction, I tell you.
Great bowl. The Houston Texan has added to it. That is now 3. Even though he sits alongside the shot bowl, it's still pretty well protected by that 1 at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, they don't have anything here, the Marlins, but get 1 close.
Just let me say, Decky, you're doing some fantastic camera work, mate.
I do try my best.
You're doing brilliant. It's awesome. It's better than the competition north of the border.
Here's a good shot.
Don't mind this.
He's only got it.
Oh, no. I'd be going and getting those bowls tested, mate. You've kicked off the left about 3 or 4 times.
8 feet out. He was always going to sit those 2 bowls, wasn't he?
He was. So Mick Beesley holding 3. The Dolphins find themselves 1 behind on N7, playing the 7th end. And Nelson Bay did win the first 2 rubbers. At the moment, Soldiers Point a 1 behind here, but winning the singles, so it's a close affair.
Oh, no harm done.
Probably going to go, it's not going to be so bad. Is he going to stay on? And he will. That is the best back, so there's nothing wrong with that one. Gets an applause from the captain, as they call him. The captain baby doll. Doesn't look a year over 21. So in our other game, our other match over there, we have East Maitland. It looks like East Maitland Beresfield are 6-all in the 4s.
After 7 ends, correct.
After 7 ends. And the singles game, I believe that it's all... the singles game is pretty much lay down misère, isn't it? I think...
There's a marker standing right in the way, unfortunately.
Yep. We can't say anything. He's the club president, so we've got to...
Richard Girvan here has had
Great
a red
shot.
hot go.
And it's still
one down. That's a
but
great
bowl,
shot.
playing very well.
Interesting opportunity here.
Yep.
Yeah, the call, quite rightly, I think is going to be to reach that last spot. You can make a handful here if you play with the weight that Beesley's asking for.
How did Jared Gorsuch events go tonight, Anthony? I don't know if you watched the game. We watched him, the one last week at Raymond Terrace when they got beat when they should have won. He played really well. So no, I think he's going all right. Him and Blory going okay. So down comes Gav.
As Gavin Kelly, you say to yourself, that's the weight I wanted.
Yep, absolutely right. Sit that one green one through.
Now it's up to Girvan. He's under his own. He's played a cracking shot, but the pressure's not off. He's got to get another one in the head.
He does. So you'll have to fill me in. How did Jared Gorsuch events go tonight, Anthony? Have I missed something there, Lino? I just can't quite come to grips with what you mean. But I'm sure you'll fill me in, which I expect you to do, Lino. Richard Girvan on his forehand. The left-hander, the big left-hander. I do have a classic Richard Girvan story, but that is certainly for the adults only time. So here's one down.
Oh, it doesn't make it any easier for
Well, it isn't really for
Kelly.
the adults only time. There's nothing you did was wrong or anything. It's just a good story. Gav Kelly. Now he's
On
got
this
that
track,
same weight, yeah.
you'd want to be able to rip straight up and take it out, to be honest, because this is a hard shot.
It is. Now, you probably just wanted to skirt that one at 1 o'clock, viewers. He's got it just sailing a little bit wide, but it will be 1 to the Dolphins. So it brings the score back to 4-all after 7. We have a nail biter. Did he win the triples? Oh, how did his events go? Sorry, Lino. They are still playing. No, did they win the triples? Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Sorry, they got beat. East Maitland won the triples. So East Maitland lost the pairs and won the triples. And at the moment, they're 6-all in the 4s, and Barrow won the singles. So it's a close affair. So we're into end 7, and it's 4-all on 7.
Thank you for that.
1 to the Dolphins.
And in this contest between the big fish, the singles game has got very interesting.
What is going on in that singles game? Can't see.
There's a couple of big units in the way. Wait a minute.
And pretty good start here, Kane Coulls. So it's 12
all.
12 all with 1 in to go. Wow. Now this is crucial. If John O'Davis can win the singles, that means that Nelson Bay cannot be defeated regardless of what happens in the 4s, because they won the first 2 rubbers. It's 4-all in this game and 12-all in the singles. It doesn't get much tighter than that. Here in rivalry round, Battle of the Big Fish.
Tony Hinton, well played.
So Kane Coulls, as we know, has played a lot of games for South Australia. He's on tomorrow, mate. He's on tomorrow.
Sorry?
He's on tomorrow.
I thought it was on today.
No, tomorrow.
Right, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On
Netflix.
Netflix. We're going to get there eventually.
Paul Russell.
Paul Russell.
And
One down. Playing on his forehand.
So we've got a bit sidetracked there, viewers. We're talking about Mike Tyson. And we've got a colossal battle here in the Battle of the Big Fish, 4-all after 7.
Arguably be a more entertaining one right here, too.
You reckon he's playing for the dollars tomorrow, Decky?
Pardon?
You reckon they're just fighting for the dollars, mate?
Oh, absolutely. My God.
Yeah, you can watch this to see old blokes go around. You don't need to.
Yeah. You always see it at the bowling club on a Friday and Saturday night. Paul Russell, ladies and gentlemen, probably holding... Oh, probably one down. I think the Marlins bowl of Kane Coulls looks like it's got the shot.
I agree. Here comes Paul Russell with his second.
Touch of the jack's going to change that, though.
Oh, dear. He's still one down, I think.
Yep.
So it is one. Holding one, says Girvan. On the forehand for Edmonds again.
So Chrissy Edmonds will stay on his forehand, as Mark said. They are holding one. If he gets inside the jack and sits the black, it'll make it 3, but I think he's just sailed a bit wide. Now, I don't know, maybe Richard Girvan has called him to go at the back. I think he did. He's told him to go for cover, and you can see why. So that game of singles is finished there. They're just putting the score up now. Can we get a look at that? So what is the score in that singles match?
They won't get out of the way.
No, and it's Tony Hinton, the smallest bloke on the field, is in the way. Anyway, Mick Beesley on the mat. Bobby Lyle's taking a picture of it.
I'm seeing a 15 over there.
I can see a 15. Just can't see anything else.
I can't see the other number.
Well, if it was 12 all, I think Shippo might have got a score.
He could have.
If we've got that right.
Moving. Have a look at this.
Here comes Mick Beesley.
Just a touch.
Oh,
what a great shot.
That is an absolute beauty.
And that is 3.
If only someone could teach Decky how to do the replay.
The replay. We did. I know how to do it, but I keep forgetting.
That's what we call something to look forward to next time, viewers.
That's right. The replay. Very good, mate. Well done. Well done. So that's 3 to the Dolphins. We're just trying to get an update on that singles.
And now more people are in the way up there.
Yeah, they are. But it is 3 to the Dolphins after an absolute bomb played by Mick, the Houston Texan Beesley. So he's on the mat, played a screamer, 1 down to 3 up.
Different kind of shot here.
Absolutely. Just a draw shot underneath the black.
Adding to the count.
15-12. I just saw it before it flipped over. It was a 15-12.
So it's a 15-12 win to Soldiers Point. So that'll be their first win in the tie. So as it stands, this game is 4 all, playing the 8th end. The first 2 rubbers went to the Marlins, the triples and pairs. The singles has gone to the Dolphins. And this one is 4 all with 2 ends to go after this one.
Interesting game, that singles, because Warren Shipley was out to a pretty solid lead, I think. Jono Davis got it back to 12 all, and then Shipley's closed it out.
And that was Jono Davis's first loss in the Super League. So he's won every game in the event. That's his first loss in the tournament.
That was Jake Graham drawing on his backhand. He's played a really good shot again, but just out of the count. He's finished near enough to jack high.
Okay, so it's all happening here. Let's have a look. So at the moment it's 2 rubbers to 1, 4 all of this. So if Soldiers Point can win this game, I'm not too sure what the margin is, what the deficit is, but if they win this game, it'll come to 4 and against. If Nelson Bay win this game, they'll win the match 10 points to 2, because they'll get the 4 bonus points.
Here comes Gavin Kelly on his forehand, holding at least 1.
Very close.
He was probably looking for a little more turn there onto that front black one, but it just didn't happen.
Like again, it looked like about 2-3 feet out that he was going to get that turn to get inside the yellow, but it just didn't turn out that way. Richard Girvan, the forehand for the big left-hander, the world champion, New Zealand legend, finds himself 3 down, but has give this one every chance. Richard Girvan, piece of the jack. That is a bomb. Beautiful. What a great shot, and that's why you are a world champion.
1 to the Marlins. That looks it. That's Gavin Kelly's bowl on the left of the line there.
Shippo must have mentally prepared well today.
G-O-B.
G-O-B, Shane Sopo. I'm all twigged up with the G-O-B.
Gavin Kelling having a good look at this one. I think he's drawing on the wisdom of Mick Beesley here to figure out what on earth to do.
You are right. It's a crucial stage. Look, it doesn't get much better than this.
Well, they're talking about a shot on the forehand. I wondered whether it was worth a risk of on the backhand through Girvan's bowl.
Just get the inside edge of it. If you get the inside edge of it, he's not going to touch his own. You'd think he'd go past. His bowl would end up shot. You'd think if he got the inside edge of Richard Girvan's bowl, let's just have a look, viewers. If he got the inside edge of the shot bowl, which is at 2 o'clock on your screen, he would probably go through and miss his own, or back cut the jack down the line, and you got the Paul Russell bowl that would be shot.
Let's see what he plays.
So we're going to have a bit of a look.
He's staying on the forehand.
Okay, so Mick Beesley's they've had a bit of a chat. This is what he thinks. Now let's make sure that we arrive.
So he's playing through those.
He's pulled his head off.
Yeah.
So I've got to say, I watched a fair bit of the game last week against Curry on the last end when Soldiers Point had the opportunity to win. Gavin played 2 very short bowls with a lot of room to draw. He's had the same situation probably 2 or 3 times tonight too, where he's had the chance and he's just dropped a little bit short. So maybe that's just a little bit of a mental thing. Probably should have played with a little bit more weight, because he's a class player.
Sure is.
And it's got nothing to do with ability, and it's got nothing to do with chucking them harder. It's probably just a mental situation, and it doesn't get more tighter than this. When, you know, you've won your first rubber of the singles next door, you're 4 all on this with 2 ends to go after this game, and your opposition skipper's just played a bomb. So probably something to think about. But then again, in 2 ends time, he might have the last bowl and play an absolute screamer and win the match. So that'll change everything. But there, just the game last week against East Maitland at Curry, similar situation, and
now this one,
unsure, probably a little bit wide.
This weight was always going to hang up the way that hand's playing. The great thing about Girvan's first bowl, the one that got shot,
so it was one to the Dolphins.
Well, no wonder Gavin was playing on the forehand then. Okay, this is not the call.
The baby doll will take all that back. Because I'm wondering why he was called to play that shot. And you think the same?
I'm just shaking my head.
Okay, 1 to the Dolphins. So that brings it to 5-4 to the Dolphins after.
Like you viewers, we're watching this on the screen.
Yep.
We're not getting.
So it's funny.
Any indication from the rink.
Both skippers played the opposite hand that I thought they would have played. Like Richard Girvan's last bowl. Why wouldn't he have played?
No, he'd turn his own if he was down.
Oh, yes, of course. Gavin Kelly has played the forehand when he's holding shot. I thought he would have just drawn on the other hand to draw under them. But anyway.
We're going to have to give instructions to the
That's why
players
the best bowls are played behind 2 inches of glass, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to have to instruct the players to give us very clear indications who's got shot.
Yeah, because here...
We might have to get Decky out in the green.
Yeah, with the little microphone. Who's got the shot?
No one can see it here, but in the booth, Tony's imitating a conversation effectively with himself.
Very good, mate.
Great start.
Coming out of your shell, my friend.
I mean, most people do say the first sign of insanity is talking to yourself, so maybe experiencing something new here, folks.
No.
Good shot by Kane
I do,
Coulls.
mate. I work on my own. I do plenty of it. I assure you.
Oh, so do I. Don't worry.
We're tarred with the same brush. Kane Coulls gets us. He's got the shot for the Marlins. Anyway. So what's the... Now, it looks like East Maitland's in front in that fours game now. They are. 12-7.
12-7. That was 6-all the last time we looked across the rinks. And
so margins are going to play a part in the result, in the final result.
So looking across to the other game between Beresfield and East Maitland, Beresfield comfortably victors in the singles 21-12, and now the fours game is 12-7 to East Maitland.
Where it was 6-all. Now, Kane Coulls from the Marlins holding shot 5-4 after 8. Scoreboards are right. We're right. Everything's good at the moment.
Poor Russell, good effort. He needed another 2 feet, but that's a bowl in the head.
Just dropped it a little bit short. So Chrissy Edmonds down on his backhand. Doesn't look too bad here. He got the weight. Either side of the poor Russell bowl he's going to count, but he's just going to drop. He's probably 2 or 3 foot short. It's probably been the story of his night. Just line hasn't been too bad on the majority of occasions, but just dropping a little bit short. So Paul Russell. Down he comes.
It's not shot, I don't think, but that is
that's
another
a very good
bowl. Although it fell in, was that a sneaky one down that Girvan showed? I couldn't tell.
I don't know. Don't know if it's a sneaky one. Go Gorillas, Lisa.
Griffins.
I was about to say, where are you
Go Gorillas. What was Gorillas? Well, wrong. I don't know. Go Griffins. Bojkowski. Go the Griffins. Bojkowski. I didn't know that. Bojkowski.
Now there's a cracker from Chris Edmonds. He's chosen the right time to come good.
Now wind picking up again.
And it's got really windy now. So Lisa Bojkowski, if we do have a look across the board, they were 1 rubber each. They've lost the singles, but they're ahead in the 4s. So it's going to be a margin thing now. I'm not too sure. The scores, Beresfield was +4. So that would be 9 plus 13, and they're 5. So they're +8 at the moment. So at the moment, it looks like Beresfield would win 8-4. Win the rubber 8-4, win the match 8-4, even though it's 2 rubbers each, just on margin. And Chrissy Edmonds got the shot there.
Chris Beesley with a good effort, asked to place some weight up on his backhand.
So they are 1. So there's a lot of noise here, viewers. There's a lot of people around here.
But they are indeed loving it.
They are loving it. They're to our left. They're to our right. They're everywhere. They're behind us.
Jake Graham on his backhand.
Down he comes. Now they are holding 1.
He wouldn't be upset if he changed the head slightly.
Very close. Oh, that is very close, that man. Probably doesn't count for 2.
So this is Gavin Kelly calling again for a yard, 4 feet. So many opportunities coming through on the backhand there.
Now, as it stands, we did speak that Nelson Bay, the Marlins, did win both rubbers, the triples and pairs. Then they've lost the singles. It's a win to the Dolphins. And this one, at a crucial stage, the Dolphins are now 5-4 after 8 ends. There's only been 1 multiple in the whole game. McBeasley, piece of it. What a shot.
He's got...
So Richard still haven't... He reckons they've still got 1. So it's still 1 to the Marlins. We could go in all square with 1 in to go.
I'm just grateful we've got a clear call from one of the skippers about who's got shot.
It took him a while to give us that clear call. So let's have a bit of a look. Lots of viewers. They're all enjoying the bowls here at the aquarium in rivalry round. Battle of the Big Fish. Jake Graham down on his backhand. Richard looks pretty happy. Is he gonna hold his line?
He may.
This, ladies. Oh,
hello.
Now you don't have to be dead to be stiff, is the old saying. So he's played he's probably a tad quick, but he's back cut the jack, viewers, and it's gone back to the Dolphins bowl. Wasn't a bad bowl, just quietly. Wasn't a bad bowl.
So this is end.
This is the ninth end.
So the result here is absolutely crucial.
It certainly is. And there's both skippers coming up the green as you look. Gavin the Baby Coal. Kelly and Richard, the Kiwi Girvan.
So I'll just point up 5-4 at this point and holding 1.
So Gavin Kelly, the Drake's Prides, down on his backhand, holding shot. Can he add to this to make it a 2? And he's every chance. This looks like a really good bowl. Now, what were we just talking about? Under pressure, he'd been struggling.
He's not only drawn another one,
The crowd absolutely loving it.
He's not only drawn another one, he's tucked it in a way that makes it very, very difficult for Richard Girvan.
Very much
2
so.
down.
And it is 2 down, yep. So that gives the indication that if it was live, they'd be 3 in front with 1 in to go.
If you've ever played against Richard Girvan, you'd know his instinct here would be to look at a weighted shot to try and get a result. But
yeah,
it's very, very... I know it's hard to see on the screen here, but it's very difficult for him to see a line down the track that... Coming up, viewers, any second now.
Yeah, it's just trying to focus it in. Let's have a look.
I'm liking us right now. See how that looks.
Here we go. Yeah. So the call he's getting is on his left-hander's backhand swinging weight, because the big weight is not going to work.
It's not going to work. So he needs to play through that arrow. He's got to be underneath the yellow bowl and he can't go really quick, but he's got to have some sort of, and he's going to hang. But
it's going wider, if anything. Oh dear.
Whoopsie daisy. Yep. But both players still have a bowl to go, so he would have learnt from that one.
So Mick Beesley's calling Gavin Kelly up because there's the head's changed.
There's a bit of danger.
Couple of times here, and there is some danger. Do you go for cover? What are you doing?
Well, yeah, look, cover's probably his best option, I reckon, because you are 2 rubbers to 1. You win this one, it gets back to 2 all. Margins will come into play. They're taking their time. And we're at 5-4 on the Club Project scoreboard with 1 in to go after this. Let's not forget our major sponsors here for the Newcastle and Hunters Super League: Coulls, air conditioning, refrigeration, catering equipment, EJE Architecture, and Genuine. I've got that one. Those poor buggers, they'd be hating me talking about them, wouldn't they? Genuine Metal Roofing Proprietary Limited. They do roofing, Declan.
I would presume so.
They do roofing. Now, Gav Kelly on his backhand. Holding 2. Sits the Paul Russell bowl. Doesn't want to leave a shelf.
Well, having played a bomb, I can't imagine he was trying to play a block, but there you go.
Interesting. Richard Girvan. So,
is he shot the same? Is it up through Kane Coulls' yellow ball?
I think he's got to play a perhapser. I really do. Jake Graham's telling him to play that same shot he just played before. Just tighten it up. Weight wasn't an issue.
Really hard shot on this track.
Very much so. Very much so. Otherwise, he just goes city of the bush. He goes looking for a result. In bowls terms, ladies and gentlemen, we call it up the guts.
Yeah, from this angle, you see the difficulty here for Richard Girvan. And it looks like try and use the yellow. If you can get the bowl with some weight to turn underneath that, you might be able to get Gavin Kelly's bowl on to the kitty or take the shot bowl's place. But if he does get onto Gavin Kelly's bowl, it looks like it might not go his way anyway.
He's got to go through that arrow. Through that arrowhead between... And he knows he's... Yep. Okay. So that's sort of... Well,
hang on.
Hello, boys. No.
1.
So it's 1. So 4... What's that make it? 6-4. After 9, we are far from over here on your Club Project scoreboard in the Battle of the Big Fish. Dolphins v Marlins at the Aquarium in Soldiers Point, Port Stephens. We are joined in commentary by Mark, that man Gauntlet. Decky is our production man. Chris Ramage has got up out of his chair. He's excited, the director. He might be going over to offer some words of wisdom, some words of advice.
Now, the game 2 rinks away from us between Beresfield and East Maitland is finished.
And they
As you
haven't
know,
updated the scoreboard. They're going to do it now, I think.
the singles was won
By Beresfield.
21-12. Going into the last end here in the fours, East Maitland was up 12-7. We're just waiting for a number.
Yeah, well, they needed to get like a 4 or 5. Great shot, Tony Hinton. Great starter. They needed a 4 or 5. East Maitland to.
Fantastic start.
Yeah, that's a great bowl. They needed a 4 or 5 to actually snatch the match, because I think the deficit was around about 8. So nearly 1,200 viewers for the night. That is awesome, considering we had no internet for 2.5 ends. So we shortchanged your viewers, but
Money back guarantee.
money back guarantee. That's it. I think I'll have the schnitzel, and that's a not a bad reply from Kane Coulls. And Rambo did have the schnitzel.
Well, not for long.
No, I'll tell
I've
you.
never seen a man work like that.
I went to the Dungog RSL Club and seen the world's greatest schnitzel a couple of weeks ago. It was the size of a dinner plate. Anyway, Tony Hinton looks like he's holding 1. Had a fair game too.
Oh, he's had a really strong
The
game at lead.
termite, or the white ant, whatever they want to call him.
Oh, that's
Played well.
another one for the termite.
That termite. And the crowd roars. They're loving it. They're loving it. The locals. They're getting a bit boisterous now. I think the amber fluid's starting to kick in. So Kane Coulls down on his forehand.
His first bowl was really good weight. Can he come back from here?
It's trying hard. Tell you what's trying really hard.
Jeez, he's-
Wow.
that's
That's
a
got to be
great
the shot.
shot.
That's a great
That's
bowl.
great. Wow.
Happy with that one, Declan?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a really good bowl.
This is going to be really a grandstand finish. Soldiers Point 2 up going into the last end. Paul Russell's first bowl from the second spot looks to be a little tight, but if he's got the weight here, he could get all kinds of results.
Oh.
I think it might be a little too much.
So it looks, I think it's a fair call to say that Beresfield has probably won that match overall. I think it was 2 rubbers. They split the rubbers 2 each, but I think they've got on top with their margin. So they will get an 8-4 victory. 12 points an offer, 2 points for each rink win, and 4 to win overall. And in our feature match here, we have 6-4 to the Dolphins, who lost the first 2 rubbers. Singles was won by 3 to the Dolphins. Not too sure the margins in the first game's pairs and triples. But
In that Magpies Griffins game, we are going to confirm the result in the fours. We don't actually have a number for the last end.
no. So pretty good shot, Paul Russell. And listen to the crowd. We have massive crowd. They're loving it. They're loving it here at the aquarium. And Chrissy Edmonds. Now, doesn't look like he's played this one too bad. He's probably just going to get the wrong side of it, unfortunately. Great effort. What was the single score? Shippo versus Jono. Zach Miller. Shippo, it was 12 all. We think he got a 3 on the last end to win 15-12. Yep, that's correct. And that was the first rubber for the Dolphins, because they've lost the triples and pairs in the first half of the match. So based on this, at the moment they're holding the game, but we're not too sure the margin for the first 2 games. It all happened really quickly. There was one game that, and it was one of their games that went a bit later because one of the blokes got here a little bit late. But I think, as it stands, the Marlins may just have the ascendancy with a couple of shots up their sleeve. So Jake Graham, who's had one hell of a game, ladies and gentlemen, played really well, playing third for the Marlins, has played some big bowls. Now he's down, having a bit of an attacking shot here. Chrissy Edmonds does have the back. Just going to hang on him. Whoopsie daisy. So that is now only going to be 1. Interesting.
East Maitland won the fours 13-7.
13-7 was the final score.
15-12 to Shippo in the singles.
So 15-12 to the Dolphins over the Marlins in the singles. as we stand at 6-4 to the Dolphins here, so that would be 2 rubbers each. But I do believe that the margin favours the Marlins after their triples and pairs win, and the Fours 13-7 to East Maitland, and they lost the singles 21-12.
15-12, wasn't it?
No, that was a different.
Sorry, my mistake.
So they lost. It's 21-12. So, but Beresfield will win that on margin. They had a deficit of +4 going into the second 2 games, and they've lost one by 5, so it's +3, and they've won one by 9, so they're +12. And Mick Beesley, great try.
Good miss.
Yeah, good miss. And thanks for jumping on YouTube Live Sports tonight, viewers. We really appreciate that. Now that we got the stream fixed, it's been one hell of an adventure today.
I was about to say, even with the stream problems we had earlier, we still got over 1,200 people.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing, and it's probably because I don't know if there's much interest in that other competition north of the border, but we've got it all here in the Newcastle and Hunter Super League.
You keep mentioning that competition. People might actually get interested in it.
Given the problem,
I think they are. Actually.
Here's Jake Graham.
Great
Look at
shot.
This cracking shot. He's
unlucky.
fallen the wrong way.
But does have 2 seconds. And a draw will win the tie for the Marlins.
Given the problems we had earlier with the internet, it was actually quite tricky to keep on top of the scores early on. So apologies if there's been any confusion.
It's ended up being a good night, as I said, and I went to apologise to Hayden Bojkowski. I got that right. Yep. And that we missed the first 2.5 ends, but it was quite difficult because there was just no internet within the whole club. Everyone's carrying on, shaking their telephones. Work! Bring back the 2 empty cans of Pal and the piece of string. Used to get good reception with that back in the day.
They're wanting their bowls, and we're here to provide.
That's right, Dickie. We are here to provide. Now, the baby doll, Gav Kelly's on the mat.
Holding one. Very precarious situation.
Now, a draw for the Marlins here will give them the rubber. A draw will give them the rubber. There's the long and short of it. Paul Russell, Tony Hinton.
The interesting thing is, Gavin Kelly's returned to the mat, picked up his bowl, and from his end, he's asked some more questions of Mick Beesley.
Looking at it from our view, what do we think is the best play for either team here?
So let's look at what Beasley's saying. He's saying, you come up on your backhand there, you're trying to get another bowl in, 2 feet behind.
What he's got to try and do is cut off the opposition getting a 2 or more. As it stands at the moment, it'll be 2 rubbers each. We're just not unsure of the margin. A draw will give the win. Oh, careful.
Get off that yellow one, yeah.
Okay. Probably not a bad home. It's ended up in not a bad spot because it's gone close to covering the Chrissy Edmonds bowl.
Another difficult decision here is for Richard Girvan.
So Shippo's, okay, so I think Shippo's behind there, that man telling them what the margin is. Now, I did see an indication of 2. Maybe the difference is 2 as it stands. So, Richard Girvan, New Zealand legend, world champion, hasn't played this too bad. Richard Girvan, that is a great bowl. What a shot.
Fantastic.
And he's still going to be one down, but one hell of a bowl. That's a great shot. We'll applaud it.
On that hand that has proved so difficult all night, he's played a brilliant draw shot, fallen back onto the kitty, finds himself still one down.
There as well, might I point out.
What's that mean?
We had a lot of cheers and a lot of seemingly disappointment.
Look, this is great bowls, viewers. In all seriousness, you are witnessing one of the great games. First game of 4s that we've streamed, and it has been a ripper. Now, Gav the baby doll Kelly down on his backhand. He'll be trying to sit the last bowl, I would imagine. He's given every chance. How's his weight? They look happy. He has played a good bowl. Gav Kelly! Great shot. It's all happening here at the aquarium. Dolphins v Marlins. Battle of the big fish. 6-4. Last end. Anything's possible.
One of these teams is going to have to
This
take
is
it hook,
about-
line, and sinker, I might say.
In the
very
aquarium.
good.
Thank you.
So Girvan's looking to score a 3 here.
Is a kill worth 2? A draw is good enough to win the rubber, or to win the tie. Is a kill worth 2, that man?
Well, here's our problem.
They've definitely got the tee covered with that one.
With Chris Edmonds' bowl here, the lowest bowl, as it were, on your screen right now, near Jay Graham's feet there.
So there's nothing behind it. As you can see, viewers, the back bowl belongs to the Marlins. If the jack goes out of bounds, it gets respotted. That would be 1. If there's any decent weight coming through, he could promote one of his other bowls closer to the tee to get a 2, make it 6 all. A draw would give them the match.
So Richard Girvan shaping up on his forehand.
And here
At
we
the
go.
moment, it's ball based off margin. So let's have a look. So, and I think he's probably, no.
I got it.
So it depends. That looks like it's 1. What a game. What a game. That was a cracker. So I think that is 1 to the Dolphins. So that'll make it 7-4. And they won the singles by 3. So that's a 6-shot margin. Now it just depends on... The crowd is going wild here at the aquarium. It just depends on what the margins were in the first 2 rubbers in the pairs and triples. We will try and find that out for you, viewers, before we do sign off. We'll just go and do a little bit of homework. I'll let that man summarise the game, and I'll go and find out.
That was a cracking game of bowls, as Uncle Tony Scott says. The Dolphins played really steadily throughout, got off to a very good start, largely in the early ends through the lead work of Tony Hinton in particular. The Marlins looked out of it in the early ends, but really fought back, not just with a chance of winning the rink, but more importantly, with a chance of winning the masterboard. They've dropped one on the last end to lose that rink 7-4. But the big picture is, of course, across the whole evening. So we've got Tony Scott. You can see him there gesticulating madly, trying to get the full result. But it's been a great night here at Soldiers Point.
Absolutely. It's been fantastic stuff. Fighting against the tide, one might say.
Decky's happy now. He was not so happy earlier.
A lot of stuff happened.
It was a very difficult start to the evening.
Swimming against the tide, but making it back, though.
Well, you're persisting with the aquarium metaphors, swimming against the tide. Good work.
You all called the
All
game.
right.
I'm just playing with it.
We hope we've got an overall result here, and in fact, there's going to be some kind of glamour spot. We're going to... There he is, a very relieved skipper. So it's over to Uncle Tony Scott, who will be interviewing Gavin Kelly with any luck, now that the technology is happening. Hold on 1 second, please.
Okay, so viewers, here we are with the winning skipper, Gav the Baby Doll Kelly, and you've probably heard the reason why he's called the Baby Doll. Was that for a win, mate?
So getting it back again. Good flight back again. We did it last week and the week before, so we're going strong.
So they end up winning 8-4, so which is what, 2 rubbers each, but you won by +6 on the margin. I think that's right. Nelson Matt Bay won by +6 on the margin. So, but that was a cracking game, Gav.
Both games. Both games for against Girvan and then Shippo and Jono were just outstanding playing against next door to us. Well, they put on a bit of a show. So.
And that was 12 all going into the last end, and Shippo's got a 3, and that's Jono Davis' first loss for the year.
That's right, yeah. I don't think Shippo's been beaten yet. He's single plate, so he's doing a cracking job for us there.
So viewers, just to say, the Battle of the Big Fish here at the aquarium. Nelson Bay versus Soldiers Point. You like that, Gav? The Battle of the Big Fish? And so Nelson Bay, they've split the rubbers 2 each, but Nelson Bay has won on margin, and that gives them an 8-4 win. Our other game, East Maitland, Beresfield. Beresfield have won that, I think it was 2 rubbers each, and they've won that one on margin as well. I think they're up about plus 12. So we battle on next week. That was rivalry round done, baby doll. We battle on next week. Thanks for coming on YouTube Live Sports. Thanks, guys.
Excellent interview there, Uncle Tony Scott with Gavin Kelly, the skipper in the 4s for Soldiers Point. That nearly brings us to the end of proceedings.
Right, I see you. I'm going home.
Chris Rambridge leaving the premises. So it's a very good night from Decky.
See you, buddy. When are you up next?
And from me, Mark Gauntlet.
Sure.
And I'll hand over to Uncle Tony Scott to sign off.
I'll sign off. So Rambo's just going. He's leaving. Goodbye, Rambo. And ladies and gentlemen, what a great night we've had here at the aquarium for the Battle of the Big Fish and the Love Thy Neighbour War. Let's just go through the results again. The Battle of the Big Fish. And it ended up 2 rubbers each, but the Marlins from up the road at Nelson Bay have prevailed with an 8-4 victory. They got the 4 bonus points. And in our other game, the Love Thy Neighbour War between East Maitland Griffins and the Beresfield Magpies, it has been the Magpies that have been victorious. Once again, they split the rubbers, 2 rubbers each, but they've won on margin, so it was an 8-4 victory as well. So that winds us up here for round 5, the rivalry round. We'll be back next week. Now, I'll just tell you where we're going to be next week. We'll just quickly go through that. And because some people saying that we're supposed to be at Curry on Thursday night, but I don't think that is correct. So we'll just have a bit of a look at the draw. If I can find it. Here it is right here. So next week will be round 6. So I think the roles have been reversed. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Beresfield on the 21st and Curry on the 22nd. But if that is incorrect, our social media will update that. So next week's games will be Curry v Charlestown. So you've got the Cannons up against the Tigers, Raymond Terrace versus Soldiers Point, the Jets v the Dolphins. What a rivalry that one is. Beresfield, the Magpies, up against Maitland City Hunters, and the Griffins will take on the Nelson Bay Marlins. That will be round 6 in the Newcastle and Hunter Super League. Thank you to Mark, that man Gauntlet, who came all the way down in the hire car from Zetland. What about the Wallabies, just quietly?
Oh, how good was that?
How good was that? He's converted me. So he got the headset straight back on. I've been watching them. I went to my first Wallabies match this year with Mark, and what an experience it was. And I've been watching them ever since. And what I seen the other night was unreal. They'll pump Wales.
That was, for Australians, I've got to tell you, that should be a major sporting moment. That was one of the great efforts.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't watched it, Wallabies
Check
v
out the
England
highlights.
from 1 week ago. Absolute classic effort.
It was brilliant. And a big thank you to our production man. He used to be called Work Experience Kid Declan. We're now going to... He's come of age tonight. He's grown a set. We'll just call him Decky. He dealt with every problem in the world and he fixed it. Well done, matey.
Thank you. And thank you for believing in me as well.
We always believe in you. All we need is you to believe in you.
I want to
but it's
express
still
my
worth
belief,
saying.
Decky. I'm expressing my belief. Top Deck, I'm calling you.
That's it. That's the one. Did you hear that, Hapster? Top Deck. That's him now.
There you
So,
go,
ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to a close here from the aquarium. It's been a great night of bowls, except for the internet for the first 20 minutes, but we fixed that in the end.
We get
Top,
there. We
Top
always
Deck
do.
got on top of it. You get that. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you next week, and remember, you see it all here. YouTube Live Sports. Have we got the best bowl stream on the planet? You better be live in it. Take care, everybody.